Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company's spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Beth. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. My name is Annie. I know it's kind of like a grab bag of whether or not I'm going to be here. Ryan, thanks for helping again.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
Eh.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're all the way there, but you're here.
Did you host the show yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, we had a grand old time.
How'd it go? I was in bed. Feverish in bed.
It was fine. It was completely fine.
You did good.
It's never
for every time you
the
say
Annie Frey Show without Annie Frey.
For every time you repeat, it was completely fine. It makes me just a little more nervous.
You should be.
It was fine.
It was fine. No, really, it was okay.
No need whatsoever to go back and listen or watch or do anything.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, Trisha goes, "Oh, I heard some of the show. It sounded fine, but I want to go back and listen to it." I said, "You know what? You didn't really miss anything. Don't worry about it."
I forgot to put lipstick on. People are probably commenting, Anna, you don't look well.
You better do that.
You know why? It's because I don't have lipstick on
Do
yet.
that while you're talking and see how straight you can make it.
Totally straight. No questions about that.
Okay.
We just have had the plague in my house, and I was trying to avoid it, and yesterday it hit me, and I was unable to avoid it. But I said, I want to try to do the show. I know I was talking with people at the Hellbig thing, and they're like, "Oh, I love your show when you're there," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad."
Well, there's nothing you could do. I mean, this week especially has been drama playing out like in the noon hour. Like, I mean, you were here Monday and then got the call at like 11:55 that you had to go.
That
take
was
care
daughter
of your
number
kids.
1 that was sick.
Yeah.
Daughter number 2 came home sick the next day.
And you were here Tuesday, and then yesterday, it was Tuesday night, I think we were all talking, and you were like, I am getting pretty sick right now. And we were like, okay, just call it now then so that we know ahead of time.
When was the last time you had a fever?
It's been a while. I would say probably at some point last year, but it wasn't a crazy fever.
Brett says he doesn't think he's had a fever in his adult life, which I don't believe.
Not adult life, since I've been married. Which, I mean, I got married in my mid-20s.
Have you thrown up in your adult life?
Oh, for sure.
Because I have not.
Really?
I'm telling you the truth. I have not thrown up as an adult.
I would usually throw up after I had a migraine. That's how my migraines would go. Like, I'd start seeing double, I'd go throw up, then I'd turn the lights out and fall asleep, and in about 8 hours I'd be okay.
Fevers are weird.
Yeah.
If you try to listen to the news while you're laying in bed and you're just trying to osmosisly, that's a word, soak in the news while you're just laying in bed being useless, which is the way it feels, and then you start to have a fever while you're listening to the news, that can be kind of trippy.
Yeah, and you get mad. You get mad at the way everything is because you're like, I don't feel good and it's your fault, news.
When I'm trying to get everything done as a mom and as a person who has a radio show, try to be everywhere and do all the things for all my obligations, I'm like, I just wish I could lay down. And then I'm stuck in bed for a day and I'm like, I wish I could be doing things.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Really what you want is about a half hour extra of laying down per day.
Or just a restful night. Just one.
That's that too.
The news continues to be popping. I was watching a bit of this Mark Zuckerberg exchange with Josh Hawley yesterday. Did you guys cover much of that?
We didn't cover it at all.
No.
Explicit hashtag warning?
Yeah, the hashtags that Senator Cruz say are like not for little ears. They're not anything FC.
Can we air them?
We can air them, but they're it's like ugh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very.
Do we not want to air them?
I think that we should. I think we owe it to people to hear it.
Okay, I'll tell you to dump it if I disagree. Well, this is part of the exchange.
In June of 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported that Instagram's recommendation systems were actively connecting pedophiles to accounts that were advertising the sale of child sexual abuse material. In many cases, those accounts appeared to be run by underage children themselves, often using code words and emojis to advertise illicit material. In other cases, the accounts included indicia that the victim was being sex trafficked. Now, I know that Instagram has a team that works to prevent the abuse and exploitation of children online. But what was particularly concerning about the Wall Street Journal expose was the degree to which Instagram's own algorithm was promoting the discoverability of victims for pedophiles seeking child abuse material. In other words, this material wasn't just living on the dark corners of Instagram. Instagram was helping pedophiles find it by promoting graphic hashtags, including hashtag pedwhore and hashtag preteen sex to potential buyers.
So Ted Cruz talking there about how Instagram, which is owned by Meta and Mark Zuckerberg, how Instagram does not, and Facebook, they're not set up to protect kids. It's very frustrating for me to listen to Zuckerberg, especially when he's talking with Josh Hawley. And Josh Hawley is explaining to him the people who he has hurt and them being in that room. Mark Zuckerberg, he has a way of saying, like, you know, we've done what we think that we can do. Here's more from the Cruz exchange.
Instagram also displayed the following warning screen to individuals who were searching for child abuse material. These results may contain images of child sexual abuse. And then you gave users two choices: get resources or see results anyway. Mr. Zuckerberg, what the hell were you thinking?
All right, Senator. The basic science behind that is that when people are searching for something that is problematic, it's often helpful to, rather than just blocking it, to help direct them towards something that that could be helpful for getting them to get help.
In what, I understand get resources. In what sane universe is there a link for see results anyway?
Well, it cuts off too early there because Mark Zuckerberg says, because we might be wrong. So what Mark Zuckerberg is saying in response to Ted Cruz there, which isn't on that clip, but you can go watch it yourself, he's saying maybe Facebook's filter system or Instagram system, maybe they got it wrong. And people should be able to access this information, even if the filter that Facebook has put up there is wrong. Facebook is willing to do that in the case of pedophilia and not the Hunter laptop. That is outrageous. Who is Mark Zuckerberg serving? Who is Meta serving? When they are more protective, they're more fearful of your ability to consume something like Hunter Biden's laptop right before an election than they are giving people the option to view pedophilic content anyway. It's very hard to take these people seriously.
Your own study says that you make life worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. You increase
Senator,
anxiety and depression. That's what it says. And you're here testifying to us in public that there's no link. You've been doing this for years. For years, you've been coming in public and testifying under oath that there's absolutely no link. Your product is wonderful. The science is nascent, full speed ahead, while internally, you know full well your product is a disaster for teenagers.
Senator,
and yet you keep right on doing what you're doing. Right?
That's not true. That's not true.
Let me show you some other facts I know that you're familiar with. Wait a minute. That's not a question. That's not a question. Those are facts, Mr. Zuckerberg. That's not a question.
Those aren't facts.
Josh Hawley is making points there. Josh Hawley has a very specific way of going hard on anybody who is testifying in front of that Senate committee. He's a prosecutor. He understands how to bring a case, and in many cases, these committee hearings are spectacles. So I understand that. Democrats do it, Republicans do it. But there were people in that room clapping when he was talking about this. He said 1 in 3 teenage girls suffer because of their usage of the products that Zuckerberg has created. And that, according to Josh Hawley, was his own study. Zuckerberg is saying that's not what it says. There must be some culpability on Mark Zuckerberg's conscience, should he have one. Because Josh Hawley pretty much bullied him into apologizing to those people who are in the room.
Would you like to do so now? Well, they're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
I'm sorry for everything that you've done. No one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
So he stands up and he turns around very awkwardly. All the cameras that are sitting on the floor in front of the senators who are asking the question of Mark Zuckerberg, who's sitting there at the desk answering these very hard-hitting questions. All the cameras shuffle around and they want to get the face of Mark Zuckerberg while he turns around and stands and apologizes to these families who are sitting in this room holding photographs of their children who have been negatively affected on these apps. I don't know what the solution is, but I do think that everybody who has skin in the game needs to be paying more attention to what the social media world that we live in now, but we're not raised in, did not grow up in, what it's doing to children. I don't believe that Mark Zuckerberg is responsible for parenting my children, but I don't understand how content related to pedophilia is allowed to be viewed anyway. How are we living in a world where there's a social media setting that allows this type of content to be accessed anywhere? And how does Zuckerberg sleep at night knowing that that is on something he created? I don't understand it. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, when should minors be able to participate in social media? And your options are anytime parent approved, as a teenager, or 18 plus. And this is one of those polls that I'm excited to see what you say, but I'm more excited to read your comments on it, because there are people who have experienced really, really sad stories, negative stories of raising children in a social media world. I have personal experience of raising kids where social media has been very problematic. I'll say in our sphere, maybe to some extent with my own children, but my children don't have it. It's just stuff that's been done to my children. And I don't think that my kids' stories are unique. Ryan, your kids are younger, so they haven't quite reached this age, I would assume, although I bet that they have friends who have phones and social media accounts.
Well, we know parents are friends who have kids who have accounts, and it's always a little surprising, but everybody has to deal with this so differently within not only your family, but your social sphere, because all of those things are factors. And so you just have to approach it with no guidebook. You have to do what's best for you and your kids, and you have to trust that you're trying as hard as you can.
I hear parents, I mean, I have had parents say to me, they just keep asking for a phone and everybody else has one, so we caved. They say that all the time. We caved. Like, that's the phrase. And I just think, why would you cave? If you have, if it's a regrettable caving to give your kid that access, just don't. And
Don't cave.
I don't think that. I think the pressure is strong, but when you put that phone in that child's hand, the pressure actually grows for that child. It's a very, very difficult conversation to have. It's one that we've had on this show quite a bit. I know I have kids that are that age, and I know that many of you listening have gone through this already, have experience of watching your kids be raised with phones or without phones. You stood strong, and then you did everything right, and things still went wrong, or you did everything the way you thought and everything was fine. It's not everybody's story that there's a disaster, but there are a lot of very sad stories that come out of children having access to social media, to the internet. Of course, I always say, like, my kids want a phone. And I always say, you don't want a phone, you want the internet. I'd be willing to give you a phone. I'm not giving you the internet. So let us know what you think. I'm happy to be back. Bear with us today. We've got Hans von Spakovsky with us next. I'm excited to talk to him as always. Tyrus at 1 o'clock. Stewie's going to come in and talk to us about the Fed, of course. Important news to talk about there. And Ryan's going to hang out with us because I hope I can make it through the whole show. So thank you for being here. Join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Vote. When should minors be able to participate in social media? We want to know what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Let's talk about Air Comfort Service. Good things come in threes, like the Triple the Heat special from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Did you know that heating systems are available in different stages? I did not know that. Right now, you can save 10% off of a single-stage furnace, 15% off a two-stage furnace, or save 20% off a multi-stage furnace. Winter isn't over yet. I know it's 61 degrees outside right now, but don't put off replacing your old inefficient furnace because you're spending extra to heat your home when the furnace isn't working efficiently. And Air Comfort Service has you covered. They're always looking for ways to make sure that when the time comes for you to have to replace that furnace, that they have the rebates available for you. Great financing opportunities for you as well. The Triple the Heat special does end February 29th. Yes, that leap year day. So make sure you reach out to them right now to contact them and get your appointment scheduled. Save on the Triple the Heat special from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Call 314-513-0091 or visit them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Victory Men's Health is making it easier than than ever before to feel like your old self again. Mark Cox here from my friends at Victory Men's Health. Now they're offering telehealth. You reside in Illinois or Missouri, the process is easy. Just go to their website, pick the service you're interested in. Maybe it's semaglutide for weight loss or hormone therapy or micronutrient testing. Once you've made your selection and your results are in, they'll do a video telehealth consult to review. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Let us know how your local first responders are positively serving your community, and let us feed them. It's the Mark Cox Morning Show's Feed Our First Responders campaign. Compliments of Grill Master Tony's Barbecue. Go to 971talk.com/contests to nominate your department today.
This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
And here's what happened when they decided to cut loose. They headed down to old El Paso. I swear they ran into a great big hassle. Billy Joe shot a man while robbing his castle.
House Republicans have not shown that he has violated the Constitution. House Republicans have failed to present any evidence of anything resembling an impeachable offense. Instead, what House Republicans are doing by advancing the sham impeachment effort is denigrating our Constitution, all for the sake of appeasing one person and one person only, Donald Trump.
It's always ending with Donald Trump, man. If you've got to put money on something, put money on the fact that whatever the problem is, if the Democrat is speaking, that the last thing he's going to blame and the first thing he's going to blame is Donald Trump. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I want to talk to our next guest about the southern border, the conflict between Texas and the federal government. We're seeing states like Florida sending National Guard troops to assist Governor Abbott at the southern border. We've seen South Dakota do that as well, among others. We wonder what Hans von Spakovsky thinks about all of this. He's a senior legal fellow for the Heritage Foundation. Welcome back to the show, Hans. Good to have you here.
Well, it's always great to talk to you.
Thank you. I want you to tell me about how the states are acting in Texas versus what the federal government's reach is on this issue with the southern border. It seems as though they don't have a common interest based on their behavior.
Well, first, that quote you had that Mayorkas hasn't done anything impeachable. I mean, he's just totally wrong. And that actually feeds into what you're talking about, which is, look, it's not just that Mayorkas has failed to enforce federal immigration law, which is why, look, the estimate is by the end of this year that upwards of 8 to 10 million illegal aliens will have gotten across the border, the most we've ever had in our entire history. And it's not just that he's not enforcing federal immigration law. He has directed the Border Patrol and others to actually violate federal immigration law. That is an impeachable offense. Now, look, in this dispute between the states and the Biden administration, look, nobody disputes the fact that the federal government has preeminent authority over immigration. But what the Supreme Court has said in past cases is that states can take actions, they can pass laws as long as those laws aren't explicitly or implicitly preempted by federal law. And the easiest way to understand this is a prior case, again, involving Arizona. Do you remember this, Annie? Remember Arizona passed a law saying that when their police officers stopped somebody because they were violating a state or local ordinance, they were directed to find out the immigration status of that individual so that if they were there illegally, DHS could be notified. Remember, the Obama administration went to court saying, oh, you can't do that. That interferes with our immigration authority. U.S. Supreme Court said, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the law in Illinois right now. They're not allowed to talk to each other. If you arrest somebody, you can't ask the status. You can't refer them to ICE. They just get to go about their business. It seems as though we've lost common ground in the sovereignty of our nation. And I don't understand how something as definitive as a border, how we can't, on a partisan and a bipartisan way, understand the importance and the purpose of a border. I mean, if you were to ask, or if you were to summarize what you think that the Biden administration thinks of the purpose of a southern border, what would they articulate that it is?
Yeah, but see, you need to understand that Joe Biden, and in particular the people he has surrounded himself with in the White House, and frankly in the top positions of the Department of Homeland Security, look, they don't believe in that. Ideologically, they think they believe in open borders. They think our entire immigration system, our limits on immigration, they think it's discriminatory. And you can see in all the actions they've taken that they want aliens coming across the border. Look, in the current dispute, and the current dispute, as you know, is over Texas putting up about 30 miles of concertina or barbed wire fencing to try to secure the border. The trial court in the case was scathing in their criticism of the Biden administration, because what the Biden administration was doing, they were sending Border Patrol agents to actually cut holes in the fencing so that illegal aliens would be able to get into the country.
It's outrageous.
So they weren't trying to do what they're supposed to do, which is stop them, but they were trying to help them get into the country, and that's because, like I said, ideologically, they don't want a secure border, and every action they've taken is evidence of that.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation. I listened to Joe Biden multiple times. He's putting the pressure, of course, only on the Republicans in the House, of course, when he talks about Congress. He keeps saying they need to give me the power. He flexed his power quite a bit in his first 100 days with executive orders that I would assume have had a great effect on the status of our southern border. What kind of power is he asking for that he does not have to fix what's going on the southern border?
That is a con game by the president. And let me tell you why. I actually read the statement that the White House put out from Joe Biden. And in it, he says, Senate, give me, in this negotiated deal they're working, give me the power to shut down the border. And I promise the day I sign it, I'll shut down the border. The reason I say that's a con game is that he doesn't need any additional legal authority. He's got that legal authority right now. And anybody who doubts that, remember the Trump travel ban? Remember, Trump issued a travel ban in which he shut down the border and prohibited the entry of aliens from a certain set of countries. And Democrats, liberals, basically all of Biden's political allies sued and said, you, the president, you don't have the authority to shut down the border. That went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And what did the Supreme Court say? They said the president has the power to shut down the border to any group of aliens or all aliens. So Joe Biden could do it right now. And him saying he needs this bill, which is going to give him lots more money to help actually process and bring even more illegal aliens into the country. Like I said, it's a con game.
You know, I compare the lawlessness that the Biden administration has upheld on our southern border. We have laws, we have rules. They should be enforced. They're not being enforced on the southern border. People are coming into this country, I would assume, knowingly disobeying laws, because they seem to be coming in full force, which means they know that there's a window of opportunity that they need to take advantage of. And then they go
that's right.
They go to New York City.
That's exactly right.
And when they go to New York City, they don't have any respect for law enforcement in New York City either. We saw the attack on those police officers and then they are released without bail. I mean, if you're an everyday average American citizen and you are driving the speed limit and doing the things that you're supposed to do to abide by the law, and you're seeing these people who have just got here for whatever particular reason be able to disrespect and laugh in the face of the rules and laws that are what holds America together, it just seems to me like we're on the cusp of losing our country.
Oh, I think we are. And look, this country cannot sustain such a huge influx of illegal aliens into the country. I mean, we've seen all the videos of what's happening in these cities where they are. And look, in addition to that, the border is now open to human traffickers, drug smugglers, huge amounts of fentanyl coming across the country, and terrorists. I mean, the number of individuals arrested on the terrorist watch list has increased several times in just the last 3 years. And why is that? Well, because all over the world, they see the southern border is open. And not only can you get in, but even if you're caught by the Border Patrol, all they do is process you, which just means you give them whatever name you want to give them, and they let you go.
Yeah. It's outrageous, and it has to stop.
It is.
I do think it's an issue that, for voters, is starting to become a very bipartisan awareness. I don't know how it will materialize as we get, you get into the silly season of an election, the closer you get to November and things start going sideways like crazy. But I do feel like it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, a red state or a blue state. This issue is at your front doorstep, and there's no way that Americans can continue to want to live in a country that respects the idea of freedom and liberty that I possess up until it meets your freedom and liberty, and then that's the delineation. We're about to lose that, and I think that in a bipartisan way, we can fix it in November, I hope.
Well, I hope so too, because otherwise, this is the worst and biggest, most dangerous national security problem we have faced in a long time.
It is. Hans, we're thankful to have your voice on it. Thanks for being with us today.
Sure, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He's the senior legal fellow at Heritage Foundation and a really, really smart man. When you spend time, I had dinner with him when he was here last time. He was in the studio with us, Ryan, and there's never enough time.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many other things that I could talk to him about. I really work, you guys kind of know this, I'm always trying to talk about something other than Trump and Biden. It inevitably goes there, but...
Well, there's a lot of legal issues involving Trump and Biden right now, so it makes sense that he would have to be knowledgeable about that stuff. But it's funny when you talk to Hans, because you can tell that he not only deeply understands the topic at hand, whatever it is, but that he loves talking about it, and that he is doing
like an educator.
Exactly what he was made to do on this earth. And I mean, not that he loves talking about sometimes when issues are bad, but you can just tell that the depth that he's already looked at the issue, even before it probably ever became an issue, is all baked into when you're sitting there face to face with Hans. And he's such a nice guy too.
He's a really nice guy. I was going to ask him about this, but I don't know that there's a lot of meat to the story. It just is what it is. Fox News reports that a judge in London threw out a lawsuit Thursday filed by Donald Trump, which claimed the infamous dossier and its, quote, shocking and scandalous claims harmed his reputation. Quote, there are no compelling reasons to allow the claim to proceed to trial, Judge Karen Stein said of the lawsuit Trump filed against Orbis Business Intelligence, a company co-founded by Christopher Steele, the former British spy who created the dossier in 2016. The dossier was paid for by Democrats and published during Trump's first presidential bid against Hillary Clinton. It contained uncorroborated allegations and rumors that spread like wildfire among Trump's critics and through mainstream media outlets. It just can't not juxtapose the dossier and what the Democrats invested in against Donald Trump and E. Jean Carroll's changing story with the wind and her psycho babble when she goes on to Rachel Maddow. She's like, we're all getting new clothes. You want a place in France? I can get you a place in France. And we're going to fish. I don't know where that comes in, but she's clearly into
Sounded
fishing.
fun.
Yeah. Not with her.
Yeah.
Well, no, I would say all of that stuff that she said did sound fun. I just don't know if I would want to do it with Eugene Carroll.
That's just
Yeah, well, she's got the dough now.
such a wild,
Until
like
it's
you
appealed.
said, juxtaposition. Such a wild.
Yeah.
Trump
Let's talk
said
about defamation.
that lady is lying and she's crazy. Boom, $83 million. What the dossier implied about Trump, and they're like, there's nothing here that really hurts your reputation.
Yeah, it is a court in London, and Donald Trump is a public figure, and I don't know that Eugene Carroll was a public figure. Maybe she is. I think she's really trying hard.
I mean, she was an author. You'd have to be knocking on the door of being a public figure. So that story that you just broke right there is that the court said, no, this didn't hurt your reputation?
The judge said there are no compelling reasons to allow the claim to proceed to trial. Trump repeatedly denied the accusations in the dossier, which included rumors about him engaging in sex acts. There I go. With Russian prostitutes. How did I screw that one up?
I can't think of a story that harmed somebody's reputation more than that story.
He unequivocally said the dossier was fake news and a political witch hunt. Yep, that's it.
Well, thank you, Court of Law. You've done a great job.
In the lawsuit, Trump alleged Orbis violated British data protection laws and sought damages. He also wanted a judge to definitively rule the claims were false. He's probably seeking about $83 million.
Roughly.
Paid really fast. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Let's talk about the Diamond Shop and Valentine's Day. Guys, it's February. Ryan, have you really invested a lot of time and effort into a great Valentine's Day present for my best friend?
Oh, I've been buying stuff all year.
You better have been.
Yeah.
All year. Well, if you're like Ryan and you have a nervous laughter about yourself because you haven't.
Oh, it's not nervous.
TheDiamondShop.net. Start there and make your way to Clayton because the Diamond Shop is located in Clayton. And really, I cannot impress upon you enough that the cost to have a bouquet of roses delivered, you can get something stunningly beautiful that is going to last forever and make a much bigger statement from the Diamond Shop. Get something that's going to last, that is beautiful, and experience what it's like to buy jewelry from the best people in the business, my friends at the Diamond Shop. They have beautiful pieces that are in the case right now that are inside your budget. You just got to go in and see. If you're looking for a bigger purchase, of course, if you're like proposing on Valentine's Day, you've probably made that purchase. If you haven't, hey, spontaneity, time to go stop by the Diamond Shop and get something beautiful from them. They will help you throughout the entire process. They also have 6 months financing, same as cash, so you can check them out there as well for that. Find them located in Clayton. They are a family-owned and operated business, have been for a long time, been around St. Louis since 1910. They're on the website right now at thediamondshop.net.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues, and now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
It's Thursday, which means today and tomorrow we still have Dr. Jordan Peterson tickets to give away to you for free. A free pair of tickets in the 2 o'clock hour. That show, I guess you'd call it a show. It's, he's speaking at Stiefel Theater on February 14th. It is now February, so that is this month, February 14th. Free tickets in the 2 o'clock hour. Stay tuned. Listen for your chance to win. It is 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Are we one of your top presets?
You were giving off that vibe, so if you want to take it to that level.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Chilling on the beach with my sweet Georgia peach, not a care in the world, just trying to beat the heat. Body like an hourglass.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Couldn't get any hotter. You slid on in, said I'm a little hot and bothered, if you know what I mean. Let's crank it up to 100 degrees. All right. You hit me like fire, shot me like a bullet, burn me up and down, no way to cool it. Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Like a bottle of Jack. Straight
to the Annie Frey Show. This is Annie. People should really give me feedback because I tried really hard to get here today.
Yeah, you did.
I've been struggling on whether to come in. Like, what do I do? What's the right thing to do? I literally have Lysol.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Don't spray it in your face.
You just sprayed it right in your own face.
If I just do it.
Yeah, it's not Banaka.
That's what Trump said.
Will that cause my... That is not what Trump said. That is a lie. Fake news. He's going to sue you for $83 million.
Yeah, the judge will just throw it out.
That's true. Kills 99% of viruses and bacteria in the air. This is part of my discovery in my $90 Walgreens disinfectant trip that I took when I got my daughter Monday on the way home. And then I got sick. And it's like, what's the right thing to do? COVID kind of pushed everything into being upside down and makes you rethink everything. I know that I don't sound like my normal self. I don't know if I would. Oh, I probably wouldn't listen to me
because you've been
anyway.
drinking bleach.
Just been drinking. I would drink some whiskey right now. That would actually help.
Yeah, cuts.
Mark Cox, where you be? But I mean, I would like your honest feedback on the YouTube live. Would you rather not listen to me today because I sound like this? Not you. You keep it to yourself.
I will. I'm going to take your advice.
Did you hear the smile that came across Ryan's face when I said that? Did you hear the grin that came across his face?
Yeah, yesterday it was a Wiggins. It was a real hard decision yesterday to be like, Annie, just stay home.
I had 102
Annie,
fever.
we got this.
You guys did great.
Thank you. All the 2 minutes that you listened, I'm sure were
I didn't listen to anything.
decent. Okay.
I
good.
listened to literally none of it because I was asleep in my bed.
So, kind of a weird list here, but I thought this was kind of fun.
Annie sounds like an FM DJ. What does that mean?
She's got the gravel. Can you do any DJ? Be like, that was Doja Cat.
Why'd you do that with your eyes? That was uncomfortable.
What did I do? I didn't even know.
So-
There you go. Like
Look
that.
at me and say it.
Hey, Brad, that was Doja Cat.
He didn't do it again.
He didn't do
He
anything
it
there.
No?
Yeah, no.
Doja.
See, he's not good at it.
That's why I'm here.
This is why Leah's here, is to get you to do things
That was
the right
my
way.
It was my interview, and they're like, "Ooh, great voice." It's Doja.
I don't know if you know me very well, but no, that's not my
No,
style.
not you.
No.
I was just talking to her outside about how much I like Doja Cat.
You don't even know who she is.
No, but I'm discovering.
Yeah, but
and I'm enjoying.
He's talking about Doja Cat.
Yeah, different artist.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Bluegrass.
Doja
Yeah,
UK.
Doja and Cat.
So this list is the most overrated tourist attractions in the United States. Now, I got to tell you, when I went to print this out, it was 65 pages long.
Ooh, you get fired for that.
So I know. No, you can't. None of our printers work, so don't worry. But I narrowed it down to the ones that I thought we were most likely to have visited to see if you had an opinion about these. I don't know necessarily if you've been to all of these.
So the question is, have we visited?
Have you visited?
And if so,
do you agree that this is an overrated tourist attraction? So the first one is Times Square. Says it may be too much to handle.
I was going to say I've never been in any of these,
You've
but
never?
I have been to Times Square.
I thought you had, because
Yeah.
I know you've been to New York.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know if you'd been there. What do you think?
It's amazing.
I thought the same thing.
I don't want to like go there every day, but it was amazing to stand in Times Square.
I agree. It's just so famous that you're like, oh, I've seen all this on TV before. There's the Today Show, that whatever that stuff was. I thought it was impressive. I didn't stay long, but it was just neat to stand there for
Get a picture.
a couple minutes, get some pictures.
Josh said, notice yesterday that Ryan adopts a host voice when he's in the big chair. Pretty funny.
Did I?
I don't know.
Brad, did I?
Yes.
Do I really?
Yes.
Oh no! It's like I'm doing a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you try to talk like me?
Uh-huh.
Like this.
This is
I sound like Annie.
I decided to come in today.
That's pretty close to your... You haven't done the Annie voice in a long
No,
time.
I haven't.
No. I'm closer to it now than I've ever been.
So you guys, Times Square? No?
Never been.
I've
Never.
been.
You have. What do you think?
When I was younger, it was awesome. It was cool.
Not somewhere where you'd just stand there for an hour, but
No.
I thought it was impressive.
I feel like if you stand there for an hour just going, whoa,
Yeah.
you just make yourself an easy target for
It's
it.
amazing how many people tell you when you're going to New York City for the first time to not look up at the buildings.
Really?
What?
That's how you identify yourself as a tourist, and then you get mugged. But
Oh.
I am a tourist, and those buildings are tall.
Yeah.
And, I'm
I got
looking at 'em.
mugged.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
just part
wanted
of
the whole experience.
Yeah, you want to hit the whole New York
the whole
experience.
New York thing.
I'm always like, I tell the people when they're coming to mug me, just so you know, I'm from St. Louis. And they're like, oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Never mind.
St. Louis and Detroit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-mm.
No, don't mess with her.
Not touching you guys. Next one is the Four Corners Monument, which is at the corner of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico.
Yeah.
Nobody?
No.
Nobody? I do know people who have been.
Isn't this
and
something
they
that you are like
agree.
driving past and you're like, and then you keep going?
No, it's actually worse than that because it's in the middle of nowhere. So you have to seek it out. And then you get there, and there's a spot where all four of the corners of the states meet.
Hooray.
And you take a picture. Most of the time, somebody lays down or puts their foot in all four corners. And then you get a picture. And everybody I know, I've known a couple people who visited, they're like, that was the biggest waste of time. Well, it's
something
also
fun to do when you're 17 years old in the summer,
Yeah.
and you just need somewhere to
going
you're
somewhere.
moving time.
Yes. Yeah, going somewhere to go somewhere. But after it's all said and done, you go, oh, I was just in Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico.
Wait, say
Like,
those again.
okay.
Utah, Colorado.
Arizona, New Mexico.
I've never been to any of those states, so that'd be a good way to check them all off. I think I might do that.
Just fly there. Have
Land.
somebody drop you over
Check.
the Four Corners Monument.
However it works.
That is how it works.
Mhm.
The next one is Philadelphia's Liberty Bell.
Yes, I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Amazing.
This list
It's right by
says
Independence Hall and everything. To go stand in the room, that's amazing.
they say it's neat, but you just see it.
Well, they probably
and
don't
there's
like liberty and freedom. so-
Nothing else there. They said, as a caveat, we
That's not
hate
true.
liberty and freedom.
Yeah. Feed them.
Freedom.
Feed them.
They hate it.
That's not true. It's like there's the Liberty Bell is inside a museum, and it's right across like a square from Independence Hall. How can you not stand in at Independence Hall and be like,
I don't know. I would like to see it, but I have known a couple people who went and said, yeah, it's you see it and it's famous, and then that's it.
That's like most things that you go see.
Well,
it's just
true.
history?
True.
No,
but
I think it's amazing, and you should go.
we have to trust Annie. She's the only one who's been there in the
Yeah,
room.
that's right.
Roswell, New Mexico.
No.
Oh, I would love to go to Roswell just because it's like a carnival
Is that
all the
the
time, at
alien
least in my
place?
head. Yeah.
At least in my
It
head.
says fans of alien, space travel, or UFOs should be familiar with the town of Roswell, the whole 1947 thing. But now the town is filled with alien and UFO memorabilia with buildings shaped like they're from outer space. And they're saying it's just stupid and kitschy. And I'm like, that sounds like
Yeah.
a fantastic
Heck yeah.
place to go. Thank you, Leah.
Let's go.
Me and Leah are going to go. You guys are not invited because you're looking at me with blank stares.
Leah and I.
Can we just play the music?
No.
What music? We still got 3 minutes. Yeah. And if I go downhill, you got a lot more than 3 minutes to fill. We'll
That's
go
why
back.
I'm here.
If you hear us talking about Roswell in the 2 o'clock hour, that means it died.
Also, if you hear me doing my radio voice, that means Annie died.
G-Wib says Roswell will make you stay there, Ryan.
That's fine. I don't care. You're going to love the next one. Epcot is a snooze fest.
Oh.
Well, here's the deal. It totally sucks. Don't ever go.
Yeah. Our advice to you,
it's
stay away.
awful. It's
Stay away. Brad had to
Especially
admit, I mentioned
in
this one to
July.
Brad, that I said,
Maybe at the end of
Epcot's on this list. And he said, you know what? Epcot, when you went, you said you didn't.
We didn't have a chance whenever we went to spend a whole lot of time there. I mean, the Frushi is amazing, but and so's Guardians.
Great date location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So great. Go there if you're celebrating 5 years. But like, I don't drink, and like one of the big things about Epcot is drinking around the world, so you can go get all these different types of drinks from different places. And if you're not there to just eat different foods and all that other stuff, I'm not sure what else you do in Epcot.
I think Epcot is beautiful. It's massive.
Yeah.
And my wife loves culture. And so it's real easy to walk through a loop and experience 20 different cultures really fast.
That's cool.
So she likes that. But I like the rides there too. I think the rides are much better than they used to be anyway, especially since they've added Guardians and some of the newer ones.
Probably my favorite park.
Me too. You'll have trouble relaxing at Mall of America.
I've never been.
Nobody else?
Nope.
I have been a couple times. It is too big. It's just massive.
Did you say I had trouble relaxing?
Yeah.
Who's like, gosh, I'm really stressed. I should go to the mall.
Exactly.
How about the biggest mall?
Yeah, the biggest mall in the world, and that has a roller coaster.
Yeah, it says it's the largest mall in the U.S. with a total of 555 stores, a theme park, aquarium, and more in it. I got to say, it is kind of impressive that it's that big, and it's in Minnesota, so a lot of the weather is very cold, so people go there because it's something you can do, but it's too big to really experience the mall. There's like one or two stores that you go, I want to go there for that. Well, they could be on different wings of the mall, and you're spending hours and hours in there, so not exactly my
favorite
place
have?
too. There's quite a few, but we can pause there.
All right, we can get to them later in the show.
Okay.
When I'm DOA.
And I'll do my voice, and I'll be like, have you been
Did
to
you
the
do the
Ark
whole
and
show
Calendar?
like that yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Apparently, I did.
Was it from sitting over here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it right now.
Am I?
Yeah, when you're off air, you sound completely different. People don't know that, but you do.
I don't think that's true. I wish I sounded different.
When I see you in just a regular place, like we go to Wing Fest, we're just hanging out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like jarring because you sound so different.
We have to go to break.
Okay.
Tyrus is going to talk to us in a minute. We'll be right back.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. Have you been looking for flooring? I hope that you've stopped at Michael's Flooring Outlet. I know that a lot of times there are ways that people are shopping through, doing other things. Maybe you are looking at a different department, and then all of a sudden you go, you know what? I'm kind of thinking about maybe replacing the carpeting upstairs. So you go to Michael, or you go to the department in that store that you were shopping for other stuff in, and you check out the flooring. Make sure that before you make the final purchasing decision on that flooring, that you give Michael's Flooring Outlet an opportunity to earn your business. You'll be very glad you did. First of all, the value you get when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, very, very difficult to beat. Trust me on this. And the quality is not to be sacrificed. They have an amazing customer sales staff that's going to help make sure that you are getting attended to the way that you need to, with a great product that you're going to brag about when you get it installed and tell everyone else you should shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet too. You can find them online at igotfloored.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
U.S. sanctions on Israelis. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden making a move over attacks on Palestinians in the West Bank.
Violence from Israeli settlers in the West Bank pose a grave threat to peace, security, and stability, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says, explaining why the president signed an executive order authorizing sanctions, including visa bans on individuals directing or participating in acts of violence or intimidation against civilians. Palestinian authorities say Israelis have torched cars and attacked Bedouin communities. President Biden described retaliatory attacks by extremist settlers like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Israeli prime minister says Israel takes action against lawbreakers and there's no need for what he called unusual measures. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. will have a multi-tiered response to the Iran proxy attack that killed 3 American soldiers, not revealing what it will be, as he also spoke today about his recent hospitalization, apologizing for the way it was handled. The president visits Michigan for a union event as a new poll finds people feeling better about the U.S. economy. 35% calling it good in a new AP Nork Center survey. That's up from 30% last year, 24% a year before that.
65% say they consider the economy poor, compared to 76% last year. While the signs are positive, it doesn't appear to have impacted President Biden's approval rating, which still sits at 38%. Roughly where it's been over the last 2 years.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, his rating on the economy even less at 35%. More than 80 House Democrats are urging the president to nominate candidates committed to lowering costs for 2 open seats on the Postal Board of Governors. A letter seen by Reuters taking issue with 5 price hikes for stamps since 2020. America is listening to Fox News.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A little bit on the breezy side going through our afternoon, but those winds are from the south. So how about 65 for the high today? Not even close to the record of 84. Partly sunny skies. Tonight, a lot of clouds, a couple of spotty sprinkles, 40 degrees. Friday, changeable skies with a mix of clouds and sunshine, 58 for the high on Friday. Friday is Groundhog Day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
We enjoyed up until today, very mild winter. My personal opinion, it's been very nice, very mild. But winter seems like it is here now. I like to let everybody know if your furnace is broken, call me. You are a preferred customer of mine. Everybody gets great pricing, excellent treatment, knowledgeable techs, and me. No extra charge to call us. You don't have to pay me in advance for me to get out there same day. Call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Two things to remember. Phone number, and if you're tech savvy, which I'm not, it's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Happy New Year.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Winter is the best time to remove dead and dangerous limbs from your trees before a winter storm brings them crashing down. Give us a call today or check us out at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our great winter discount.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
If you think that Instagram is not hurting millions of our young people, particularly young teens, particularly young women, you shouldn't be driving.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Well, it's Thursday, so we like to welcome Tyrus onto the show. He's a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and his special now streaming on Fox Nation. Tyrus is Here and Now. It's a stand-up special. I highly encourage you to check it out. Tyrus, welcome back to the show.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm okay. I watched yesterday Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Mark Zuckerberg, Kennedy there, Senator Kennedy, talking about social media with young people. This is something that I talk about quite a bit with my 4 kids. And we have a poll every day. Today is when should minors be able to participate in social media? And I know that you got kids. I know that you've got a perspective on this. I don't think it's talked about enough. And I want to just give you kind of an open opportunity to discuss parenting today when social media, the internet, phones, all of that, every kid wants it as soon as they can possibly get it. They don't really even know what they're asking for. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, that's bad parenting. You're using the tablet as a pacifier so you can have your time. And parents need to understand that your time is their time. So that's what early bedtime is for. So that would be my other thing. The thing, this is all a joke. The whole thing yesterday was a wash, and it's really insulting Americans' intelligence. This is not a hard fix at all. And the fact that all these so-called educated people are in a room and you want to make the internet safe for children and all that other kind of stuff. It's real simple. Everyone who's on the internet has to have an ID. That's it. It's real simple.
You're okay with the idea of having to have a real person attached to what is there on the internet?
Well, you need to hold them accountable for because the internet's being used by predators, and it's being used by organizations and companies to go after children, to go after some of the less blessed with intelligence Americans. And I cannot tell you how many times I get messages from people saying that I just talked to you on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have a Facebook. You promised my family to a meet and greet and all this other kind of stuff. So people, and that's on a small scale. But the biggest issue I have is when children get on chat zones and they get on stuff. If you and I sat down right now and we made a handle for a 14-year-old girl and went on a chat zone, I think it'd be less than 5 minutes before you would have men in their 40s trying to talk to them.
It's outrageous.
To be children. So when I hear them say all the things they could do, the easiest thing to do, you have to drive a car in this country, you have to have a driver's license. To have a vote in this country, you still have to have a driver's license. And to get online, you need an ID, or if you're going to have somebody out say 16 with parents' permission, with a connection to the parents' social media. So one, you can hold parents accountable for letting their kids, what they're surfing on the internet. And at the same time, there will be the pedophiles and the sex traffickers and the people who are trying to fleece and con and steal. It's really difficult for them when their fingerprints are attached to what they're doing.
Mm.
So, and that to me, there's a no-brainer. It's not that difficult. You want to be on X, you want to be on Facebook or whatever. Provide an ID so that you're allowed to say whatever you want. You're allowed to, whatever your deal is, whatever's in your bag is fine. But when you get violent or you make threats or you pretend to be 13 years old trying to coax a young person to meet you at a restaurant somewhere, it'd be a lot easier for law enforcement to track it down. And what's sad is that the profits they get from the fake accounts and the algorithm accounts and the bots is more important than American children's life. It's not more important than China.
Mm.
Their kids are on for 4 hours and they only can see certain things and they protect their children. I don't know why it's so hard for Americans to protect our children.
You mentioned the profits, and that's the thing that really irks me is that there is a financial interest that exists for these big corporations, these big conglomerates like Facebook that also owns Instagram and Oculus or whatever all of those different things are, Meta. And Google is in the same kind of boat. Like these really gigantic corporations, they need eyes, they need clicks, they need views, and they don't really have to discern the age of those views in order to profit off of them. And so when we hear yesterday Ted Cruz showing at the hearing he had a blown up board that showed that somebody was about to access something that was likely to have like pedophilic content behind it, and one says like get help here, and then the next one is view content anyway. If you go back and think to the election in 2020, what social media censored because we weren't capable enough on our own to view things like the Hunter Biden laptop, but we still have this view anyway button for pedophilic content. I mean, you got to ask yourself, what kind of master are these people serving? It is outrageous to me.
I think the real question is how much profit is enough? For these CFOs and CEOs who run these companies, how many million is enough for every child that has been fooled, whose life's been ruined or murdered, parents whose children have been kidnapped, who've been lured because mom and dad are working? And again, parents have to take some responsibility in terms of what their kids are watching, but at the same time, when the system's designed to bait children in with pretty colors and cool games, and every game leads to another game, and every game, you can only go so far unless you buy this. So what they really need to do is just come out and say, hey, we don't give a damn about you and your kids. You're going to buy our products anyways, so travel at your own risk. I would respect that. Mm-hmm. But to sit there and say things like, I apologize to the family, you don't care. And you made sure you said you're sorry for their loss, not opposed to, I'm sorry that what was supposed to be originally made to where you can go on dates in college has turned into life-changing and negative ramifications, oh, well, if you crack a few eggs, and so be it. And it's just, I think it's embarrassing, and that's the word I use to be in America right now. I think we're embarrassed on the world stage when a country like China, who we know with some of the human atrocities that they do, but even with all that, they draw the line at the children.
I think
they protect their children, and I'm just sitting here like, it's as a parent, it's like I just have to say no social media at all for my kids because even like kids' YouTube, somehow, some way, you'll end up a click down a wormhole and you'll end up somewhere else.
Right.
So
nothing's safe.
But they don't care. And I just say it. Just say, listen, this is our product. We make so much money that a couple of kids get missing each year isn't a big deal to us. Because that's really what it is. Because this is not hard. You got to have an ID to be on Facebook.
Tyrus,
Okay.
I think you've done this before when we've had this conversation. I think it's really important because we see these hearings between government with the Senate and the big CEOs with Mark Zuckerberg or whomever else it might be. You always still bring the focus back to the parent because you're the first line as the parent. You're the first line of defense, and in many cases, the only line of defense for that child. And when kids, I was saying this a little bit earlier in the show, but I've had parents say to me like, yeah, I didn't want to get my kid a phone, but I finally caved. And it's like, don't cave. Just don't cave. Stand your ground. Be unpopular.
Books still work. Takes a little longer to get there, but books still work. And listen, I catch all for my kids. I mean, my friends are on Roblox. My friends are on it. You can't play any online games unless I'm with you. You can't. We don't have social media time. Very, very little time, and it always has to be supervised because back in the day, we used to have a parent who would stay outside and watch the kids play on the street because they were afraid of the man in the van. Well, now the man in the van is online posing to be an 11 to 12-year-old girl who wants to hang out. So, and it's not just one, because now with the power of the internet and connections and networks, they form groups, they share information, and parents are just sitting ducks because they think, oh, he's just playing online with some friends, and the kids get addicted to the games, they get addicted to the content, and then next thing you know, I made a friend and I'm going to meet him tomorrow after school, and he's my age, and then then the tragic story is when we have another kid. I don't think they do the milk cartons anymore, and that's the ugliness of it. And I don't understand it. Yeah. It's not taking away anyone's freedom to make an account. If you're going to be on social media, you need to provide an ID so you can be, in case you are up to nefarious reasons. Mm-hmm. It's very easy for law enforcement to track you down. If you're not doing anything illegal, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But there's no real reason for a ghost account other than to troll people and harass people. I mean, everyone acts like there's some special agent who needs to search things. No, sorry. And dads and husbands and wives who want to be cheating and stuff. Why does that have to be made easy for them?
I don't know. I know we got to do something about it because the ability for people to access children and then these companies who make children a commodity, you're not going to do it with my kid. But even the children who are having overprotective parents, which is what I would probably be considered, and I'm okay with that, sometimes those kids still find a way around it too. And
they'll sit next to the kid on the bus who doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Or that kid at the school who will come to school and will show all the fun stuff that they're seeing and doing. So it's like I said, as a parent, you can only do so much. And when it does happen, you have to reinforce the rules. You don't want your kids to be scared, but you want them to be aware.
Yeah.
You want them to understand that there are monsters. The monsters are not fictitious fantasy characters and dinosaurs. They're human beings out there who want to do harm to you and they want to lie and trick you. And it's the same thing with finances. They prey upon the older part of our society where they send them emails and befriend them, or lonely people, and they get them to send them money. Somebody did that pretending to be me, saying I couldn't afford to pay for my divorce, and the lady had to help me because my wife was trying to steal my money. And I was like, trying to steal, she's already got it. So it's just kind of, it's just kind of, when you hear them and you're like, how could you fall for this? Tyrus couldn't FaceTime me because his video was broke on his phone.
Right.
Like you don't think I am working the jobs I have that I can afford a working phone?
Right.
So they just get caught up in the attention of it, and that's the sad part. But again, it just goes back to if this wasn't an option, if America took a stand and like, if you're going to be on social media in this country, it's just like meeting people. It's just like going places. You go in the library. You have a library card to take out the books. You want to go to a sporting event. You want to buy alcohol. You got to show ID. So I don't see the problem, other than the fact that it would tremendously hurt their profits.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your perspective on it because the conversation needs to be had and people need to be making these suggestions and standing up for it in order to protect each and every one of our children. I'll certainly do that for mine. And Tyrus, I know you'll do the same for yours. Thank you for being with us here today. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Talk to you soon, Tyrus. Bye-bye. He's a regular in Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and his Here and Now stand-up special is streaming on Fox Nation. Check out his book, Nuff Said. Let's take a quick break. Stewie's going to come join us in studio. He is going to talk to us about the Fed and what they're doing with rates and give you the information you might want to know about that area of our economy. Good to catch up with our friend Stewie. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Stuart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. We're going to talk to Stewie here in a little bit because Stewie understands the economy on a much broader scale than mortgages because that helps him be very predictive and be able to help you anticipate the smartest time to get into the housing market. I'm seeing a lot of different other sources saying now's the time to get into the housing market if you are looking to buy. We'll see what Stewie has to say here in a couple minutes, so stick around for that. I want to remind you that the bagel loan, which you can only get with Stewie at Stuart's American Mortgage, you are going to pay nothing in closing costs. Zero in closing costs when you hook up with Stewie at Stuart's American Mortgage. I have myself done 2 refinances with Stewie, and these were in maybe 2019 and 2020 because rates just kept going down. It didn't cost me anything to do the refinance, and I was able to secure a very low rate on my house. And Stewie guided me in that way. He can do that to you as well. I am a customer of it. The no closing costs is real. It's accurate. It's not tucked away or hidden or manipulative. They don't exist. So if you're interested in a bagel loan at Stuart's American Mortgage, call my friend Stewie right now. Text him right now. He's going to be in the studio with me. So that would be great if you reached out to him right now just to get the conversation started. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to my friend Stewie. You can also Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
The Mark Reardon Show.
State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
Because it's as easy to change the Constitution at the ballot as it is to change state statute, nobody tries to change state statute, and they just put everything in the Constitution.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
It's getting near dawn.
Danny Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn
Q1, inflation, CPI, averaged in the 8s.
Yes.
And the Fed didn't do anything until March. So at this point, we applaud the Fed for the 18-month tightening campaign, moving the rates back up to 5%. The biggest mistake that could occur at this point is premature accommodation. So the Fed cuts, and all of a sudden you get a temporary spike in inflation. All of a sudden now that's more volatility for the market. That would be the biggest risk.
Okay, so what does that all mean? Whenever I hear people talking about the Fed and that area of the economy, what they're trying to do to slow the economy or to set the economy on fire, I just talked to my friend Stewie because he knows all this stuff and I am not an expert at it and I don't pretend to be. And so he decided to come into the studio with us to discuss it right now. The president of Stuart's American Mortgage, my friend Stewie. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So the Fed met?
They met and they did what they typically do, which is nothing.
Is doing nothing something?
Sometimes. I mean, in respect right now, I think it's a big mistake. You know, we hear people talking about, we know the inflation numbers are down and they continue to drop. So we're down to about 2.9%, the lowest pretty much since COVID, or since we got out of COVID. And that's improving things, but they're saying because of the growth reports of the economy saying that we're still strong, we don't want to go ahead and cut the rates. So their incentive to cut rates, which stirs up lower cost for borrowing, in turn convinces you and I to go borrow more money to buy cars and other items. Start spending again. So their biggest concern is, hey, we don't need to do that because the economy is doing pretty well. Why should we worry about cutting rates right now? Let's wait and see if this drop of inflation continues to carry itself down and continues to go down. On the flip side, though, you know, employment is kind of slowing. I think we know about UPS. They knocked out 12,000 jobs. And even though you hear reports that employment is somewhat strong, if you take the government sector out of that, employment is actually getting pretty weak.
So, I mean, it's what the Fed is always trying to do is it seems like they're always trying to cause a reaction. What they go and raise a rate or, you know, cut rates, that the point is to try to move the economy. They're always kind of trying to put their finger on this side. Now they're trying to put it on that side. When they're standing still, does it mean different things if they're standing still different times?
It means they're being cautious.
Okay.
You know, the Fed historically has made a lot of mistakes. So they've raised rates when they shouldn't. They've cut rates when they shouldn't. And the responses, the economic responses have been pretty bad when that occurs. So now they're going to say, look, we're not going to jump the gun. And just because we see inflation dropping pretty steadily over the last couple of months, it's still not our 2% target. We're at 2.9%. We want to be at 2%. We see monthly fluctuations in that number. Sometimes it goes up to 3.1. December was higher than November. So overall, they say, look, we want to see some more long-term, you know, things going in the right direction in order for us to be convinced we have to cut rates. And they're not incentivized to go ahead and cut it right away because the economy is still staying strong. If the economy was defaulting, our GDP was going down, we're really getting in trouble, we're entering a recession, then they say, oh my God, you know, things are getting pretty bad. We got to cut those interest rates to stir up more economic activity. We're not there. I think it's a mistake. I think that they can't cut those rates. I think that inflation going down is just a natural event after a pandemic over a couple years. Supply chains pick up, economy picks up, people go back to work overall. I think they can cut those rates, but they're probably not going to do it here in March, and that's causing skittish in the markets. Mortgage rates, though, have been continuously sliding. So mortgage rates are dependent on the long-term prospect of where interest rates are going to be a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
So when we hear that the Fed is raising rates or cutting rates or not doing anything, I always like to ask the super basic questions, Stewie. And I always tell him, like, explain it to me like I'm 3. And he does it for me. But when we hear that the Fed is going to raise rates or lower rates, mortgage rates, which is what you deal with at Stuart's American Mortgage, that is downstream from, that's not the rate that we hear the Fed talking about.
The Fed funds rate is the borrowing cost between banks and the Federal Reserve, or banks and banks. So banks are responsible, have to keep a certain amount of cash on hand every single day. They have to keep that in order to be liquid. So if there's a big run on the banks, they can take the money out. That's a requirement. But the bank's biggest business is to lend money on a short-term basis, car loans, installment loans, credit cards. So if they lend all their money out, they don't have enough cash. They have to borrow from the Federal Reserve or from other banks in order to go ahead and meet the cash requirement. The amount they have to pay, the interest they have to pay on that money when they borrow it, is the Fed funds rate. That's controlled by the Federal Reserve. Now, if they go ahead and raise that rate between banks, they're going to turn around and raise it on us because it costs them more money. So that's how they kind of try to control the economic conditions in our country. Does it have the impact that we would like, or that it should have? Not as much today as it used to 50, 75, or 100 years ago, because now we're a worldwide economy. So even though they raise or lower those interest rates, you've got Ukraine issues with supply with grain, and you've got this issue, and China and Japan. And so all these other factors play in, and it's a lot harder for the Federal Reserve to actual impact. But that's the main tool they have. So they don't want to jump the gun. And they don't also, at the same time, they want to, keep in their pocket any type of ammunition that they have for the future. Long-term interest rates are, even though the Federal Reserve isn't cutting the interest rates today, we know ultimately they're going to do that, or we're going to end up in a hot water and a recession, and that's what they don't want. So we'll see things improve.
We're talking to Stuart's American Mortgage, my friend Stuart Rosenblum. He is the owner and operator of Stuart's American Mortgage, and a great sponsor of this show, and has been for years now. Very reliable. I'm a 2-time customer of Stewie. Now, I've done refinances with you twice, and this was back when rates were below 3. So I have a great rate with you because you were saying, Annie, you need to do this now. You need to get this locked-in rate. I'm very grateful that you told me to do that. But I hear you telling me now off the air that there are a lot of people out there who need to take that same advice, because if they got a mortgage in the last, year, 18 months, 2 years?
I would say in the last 12 months for sure. If you got a mortgage in the last 12 months, your rate is 7% or higher, or you have an FHA or a VA loan, you should refinance right now. We have that bagel loan product, which is no closing costs. So if you do it, you save 1/4, 1/2, 3/4% on your rate. Doesn't cost you anything.
That's what I did twice.
That's what you did twice. A bird in the hand's better than 2 in the bush. So some folks will call us and say, hey, I think they're going to go a little bit lower. Well, what if they don't? If the Federal Reserve comes out in 3 months and says inflation creeped up a little bit, maybe we're going to have to raise rates again, because you guys have experienced this. 1 minute they're one way and 1 minute they're another way. At least you got the best of what it is today. If they lower rates later on down the road, rates drop, you can always refinance for free with us either way. So if you got that mortgage in the last 12 months, FHA or VA for sure, conventional loan if you're over 7%, you need to refinance right now. Loan amounts over $200,000, doesn't cost a dime. Take advantage, because later on you're going to say, I should have, could have, didn't do it.
Yeah, and I really stand by, as a customer of the bagel loan myself, how great it was to be able to get that locked in lower rate and not have to deal with the higher rates that existed before. I think that we almost cut. It wasn't quite cutting my rate from the beginning to the end in half, but it was a significant decrease, which is going to save me a ton of money over the course of the term of that loan. But you also work with people who have really, really high credit card debt. And I think that going back to the part where you were saying about jobs and pay, we had one of our listeners who's on here with us regularly said that he is somebody who got recently laid off. They cut 10% of the staff at the place where he works. Sometimes you end up swiping that credit card because you have to. Then the credit card debt, the rates on that right now are outrageous. You have a way of helping people who have found themselves in credit card debt that they can't get ahead of, to have a very discreet private conversation with them, to help them have the peace of mind of having a plan.
We actually have a funny 97.1 listener story. We had a husband and wife came in. They incurred $60,000 of credit card debt. They never had that a year ago.
Yeah.
They
Circumstances.
$60,000.
Yeah.
So the wife came in 15 minutes before the husband and said, look, there's $60,000 in credit card debt, but my husband doesn't know.
Oh, no.
Is there a way to do this? I said, look, we can't do it, without somebody knowing, but there's an application he has to e-sign. So apparently he didn't know at that particular time. By the time we came to close, she kind of explained it to him. But by that time, their payment actually went down $100 a month from what they were previously paying with the debt consolidation that we did. And that improved their cash flow tremendously. Interest rates today on credit cards, 22, 23, 30% I saw. So that's not going to go down that much over the next year or 2, 3 years. Do a cash out refinance, maybe keep your payment the same or maybe lower. Your cash flow will definitely get improved, and put yourself in a better position in the future that if the rates do go down, you can do it again and it won't cost you a dime. So you got to be smart with your finances. And there are tons
and
of tons,
honest.
And honest.
I mean, you can be smart, but you can't be smart until you're willing to be honest.
Yeah, this does happen, unfortunately, time from time.
Yeah.
But, you have to look at your total picture. And there are some customers out there that got that 3% or 3.5% rate. If you have a large amount of debt, if it's 50% of your mortgage balance, and you don't want to consolidate it because you're worried about your 3% interest rate or 3.5%, it's a foolish move, because if you average the interest over those two debts, it's way, way above 10, 20% that you're paying overall. So you got to be smart financially and make the best move. And remember, money's there for quality of life. It's not there just to save money. If you go on with life and you can't pay your bills every month, hey, I got a great 3% interest rate, but you can't live. What's that worth?
What's it good for?
So you got to consolidate. Remember that the quality of life is more important than the dollar. That's the bottom line.
So before we let you go, Stu, I know that you are always trying to look ahead, and it's an election year. I would assume, the Fed is supposed to be independent of the administration, correct?
Supposed to be.
Okay, yeah, we'll just say that out loud. The Fed is supposed to be independent, but I would assume that the Fed can pretty quickly make things feel better than they actually are by making a move or making a change or something like that, if they wanted to see a certain political outcome. Does that happen?
I think that the chair of the Federal Reserve, Chair Powell, is more powerful than the President of the United States.
Really?
I think he can come out in his group and say, interest rates are going to go up, we're going to raise them, or we're going to lower it, and that has a more immediate life impact to everybody that walks on the streets. Even though you may not feel it for that second, prices go up, all of a sudden you got more debt, you have to make higher payments, you can't buy that house. All these things come into play, and it's tremendous amount of power. Now, whether he's influenced by third parties, I think all politicians to some degree are influenced by third parties. I'm not alleging that anything specific, but you got to know that they are impacted by other sources and other indices. But we have to wait and see what happens. Again,
are election years crazier than non-election years?
I think there's political pressure not to allow interest rates to continue to rise and to go down, because who wants to go into an election saying the economy is terrible and people can't make their payments and interest rates are up, and that's a big discussion factor. So I think there's going to be some political pressure there to lower those interest rates. But we've seen this a little bit, and this particular chairman is not totally susceptible, in my opinion, to political environments. I believe he was originally assigned a position from the Trump administration. Before that, I may be corrected, but I believe that was at that particular time that Powell was put in. And they had some points of contention between them. So I'm not sure exactly where he holds on a political landscape, but I'm sure that he gets pressure from both sides. In an election year, you're going to see that argument go from one side or the other, depending upon where we are. We're not in a good place right now. That's the bottom line. So whether we're going to be in a better place 6 months from now remains to be seen.
Here's a comment from a listener. Luckily, most people are employed and their wages are keeping pace with inflation. Is that true?
No, I think overall wages, if you look historically, where wages have gone versus the inflation rates, in general, we're now at 2.9%. I don't think, last year was 8%. I don't think people were getting pay raises of 8%. You got to remember, when you had inflation and things went up 8% for the last year or two, even though it's down to 2.9%, it's 2.9% from the previous year. It's not like it reversed the 8% that you got.
Correct.
So the wages historically have not, in the last year or two, have not been corresponding to the inflation numbers, and they haven't come down. So we're seeing on the mortgage side more debt being incurred by people.
Yeah.
I had one customer that incurred in 1 year, perfect credit yet, $80,000 in credit card. I asked him what happened. He goes, nothing. We just all of a sudden couldn't pay our bills.
What you were doing.
And we had this and that. They lived a modern middle-class lifestyle, and all of a sudden they couldn't make their payments.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's happening.
That's the story over and over and over again, which is why I implore you, if you're listening to this right now, if you found yourself in a situation, it doesn't have to be 80,000 or 60,000. It could be to the place where all of a sudden you've realized, I don't know how to get this back under control, whatever that is for you. Or if you're looking to buy a home, make sure you contact my friend Stewie. I am a customer of his. I speak from personal experience of working with him. You won't find anybody better. Stewie, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We always appreciate you. If you want to call him or text him, 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information. We'll take a quick break and be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
I'm with you, my love.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Yes, I'm with you, my love. It's the morning.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I'll stay with you till my seas are dried up. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your love.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So the Retirement Advisory Group, Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw, got to meet a bunch of you this week. So nice to be able to have some conversations with listeners out there who at least have valued what we're trying to tell you about the Retirement Advisory Group. It's worth the phone call to make an appointment. It's worth it to sit down for a no-cost, zero-obligation review of your retirement so that you can determine if Thomas Helbig is right for you. And I'm very confident that at the end of it, you'll understand why he boasts about never having a client lose a penny. You have to be that person who is nearing retirement. I'm not quite in the Thomas Helbig arena yet, but if you are in your late 50s, if you're in your 60s, and retirement is right around the corner for you, you want to make sure that you take that transition and get everything out of it that you can. And that worry-free retirement is yours, that you can move into whatever your dream is, traveling, maybe moving to a smaller home and homesteading, or going to travel to see family, whatever it is that you have dreamt of doing in your retirement, that it can become a reality. You need Thomas Helbig to help you to get there. Retirement Advisory Group is available at 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
The reviews are in on Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. Everybody loves what they see at Hampton Manor, this brand new senior living community just north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your tour today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: when should minors be able to participate in social media? Is it anytime, anytime parent approved, as a teenager, or 18 and older? We want to know your answer. We want to hear what you have to say on this. So jump on Annie's YouTube page, find the live stream there, vote in the poll, and then tell us what you think in the comments. And we will highlight those comments, and they'll be featured later on in the show. Also, don't forget, we're going to give away Jordan Peterson tickets for February 14th at 7:30 at the Stiefel Theater. So stick around for that. The time right now is 1:43. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Searching for truth in a world of angles, positions, and outright lies. This is 97.1 FM Talk. listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. No more guests, so now it's just us.
What a letdown.
For you?
Whoa!
This is where you get to shine, buddy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. This is my time. I mean, what do you want to talk about?
I want
Shoot,
you
let's
to do
go.
Shoot.
Let's go.
Shoot.
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 You kidding me? Come on.
Man. Hunter just asked a question. Has Annie been randomly spraying Lysol throughout the show?
Yep. Your hair has got to be has like a film on it now, right? Because it's just all over.
The thing that frustrates me is that Monday, when I went home to take care of Jensen, I Lysoled the heck out of my house. I had to have inhaled it. Why didn't that help me not get sick?
I don't know. I don't understand that
really
either.
Should have.
Why don't they start making doorknobs out of Lysol? Like, why don't they just make the whole plant out of the black box? It's Seinfeld.
No, I don't.
The black box always survives. Why don't they just make the plane out of the black box?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He's onto something there. That's funny. Yeah, I mean,
it's Jerry Seinfeld, so it's good comedy.
I watched Barbie yesterday. Did you see that message I sent?
I did.
I wept.
I didn't know that movie was sad.
Neither did I. I was pretty pissed.
Can you share what is so sad about
You've
the
never
movie?
seen it, have you?
No. I do want to see it, though. Aesthetically, it looks amazing.
Leah, if you've seen the movie, come in here. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't need to come in here to tell us that you haven't seen it. The movie, so I am clearly not hip when it comes to pop culture. I'm clearly not the person who, when something goes out there and everyone's got to see it, I am not interested in being the first. I'm not that interested in being around a bunch of people who are that into the thing.
Yeah, you don't listen to Doja Cat or anything.
Or Doja Cat.
Or Doja Cat.
Either of them.
Or Black China.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Right, Megan Thee Stallion.
Didn't Black China become like a Christian?
Yes.
I have no idea.
No, I mean,
I know the name.
She's that's a really cool story.
She went back and deleted a bunch of her old posts and stuff like that.
Was this recent, apparently?
In the last couple of years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, I didn't even know she'd been a star for that long. That's how much I know about her.
No, why are we talking about this?
Back to Barbie, the important stuff.
Barbie was a success.
Okay.
Hard to argue with that, right? And I think I've watched, what was the last one I watched? The last Harry Potter I watched was number 5, maybe, which would be what?
Let's see, there was a Prisoner of Azkaban. Was it the Half-Blood Prince? The Goblet of Fire.
I think Goblet of Fire is 4.
The Whisperer's Moon, I think, is number 5.
I think after the Goblet of Fire, you're in Half-Blood Prince territory.
I think it might be Half-Blood Prince. It was the one. Well, I don't know, spoilers. I'm trying to remember what it was about.
Harry Potter and
it's been out long enough.
Lit Sanctuary.
5.
5.
There was the girl.
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix. Yes. Yeah, that's it. It was good. See, I'm saying this like Harry. It was good. Like everyone's like, yeah, Annie, Harry Potter is good. But this is new information for me. And the more I'm so counterculture, the bigger it gets, the less I want to dive in the middle and start being a fangirl about something that everybody's been fanning out on for some time. I just am like, it's not like I have nothing to do. I don't sit down and watch a movie every night. So if I did, I would watch these films, but I don't have that kind of time. And it's not because I'm a highly important person or that I am like in great need to anybody other than the people who I've created. I just have a busy family life and it's pretty boring and monotonous, and it's what I've chosen and it's very fulfilling. I am not missing entertainment that other people have approved collectively to be a cultural popular phenomenon like Harry Potter or Die Hard or Christmas Vacation. These are all films that I've watched right now and I'm trying to catch up. I was laying in bed all day yesterday. I did not come downstairs from my bedroom until about 7:30 to eat, which is when I finally ate. It was the first time I ate in like 2 days. And while I was laying in bed and I was awake, I was like, I should watch Barbie. Because my kids, my older girls want to watch Barbie. And it's rated PG-13. I told the story earlier, last week or the week before, about showing the kids the Goonies. That freaking movie's rated PG, and the first 10 minutes is really pushing on the PG part of it. Yeah. And then the rest of it's fine. So I'm like, okay, what is PG-13? Let me watch it. Let me see. It was a really good movie. And I understand 100% why men watch it and are not as entertained by it as women are. The whole movie is about feminism and patriarchy. But I think that if you just look at it on the surface, you could, from a conservative place, which is where I always come from because I'm incredibly conservative, I could look on it and see early on how you'd be like, I know exactly how this is going to go. But the movie is almost more about Ken than it is about Barbie, almost. And it starts out in Barbie land, where feminism has achieved its ultimate goal, which is women run everything. They're all named Barbie, so it's Barbie president and Barbie doctor. Yeah, I mean, it's very clever. I mean, I appreciated the humor of it. There's a lot of really good humor that was injected in it. Like, it didn't take itself too seriously in a particular way. But the idea is that Barbie has achieved everything. Barbie can be anything, because the idea is that you, as a girl who was playing with Barbie, you could get any Barbie and adapt to it. Like, this is Dr. Barbie, this is Nurse Barbie, this is Teacher Barbie, whatever. President Barbie, Supreme Court Justice Barbie. But the idea of Ken, and I think the phrase that he uses, he's like, my only purpose is to find myself in your gaze. So the idea of Ken existing in Barbie land, where feminism has taken over completely, marginalizes men, or Ken, to only be purposeful and have value when Barbie sees him. And in this world, Barbie does not appreciate Ken. So Ken and Barbie, and I won't tell you why, because I think this is the part that I said made me weep, and I won't give any ounce of spoiler there, because I didn't know it going in, and I don't want other people to know it. You can take my word for it and watch it, especially women who are of my age or not. But for whatever reason, they have to leave Barbie world and go to the real world, and Ken finds out that men rule everything in the real world. Like, he starts seeing.
So now it's social commentary.
No, you got to see the whole thing.
Okay.
You got to see the whole thing. The truth is that at the end, what they really realize is that neither one of those ways is functional. And the way they get to the end, where I feel like they actually bring this idea of overt feminism as the, like, postmodern feminism, where it's just women everything and men have finally earned their place, which is sub-female, is not a workable model. And I, you guys might feel a little more attacked in the patriarchy conversation, but I do know what it's like to be a woman who has to kind of work and function in what is traditionally a man's world. And I understand the challenges that come from that. And there are girls who are listening to me right now. There are women who are listening to me right now who know exactly what I'm saying, and they would not refer to themselves as feminists. It is different to be a woman than it is to be a man, which ironically is a conservative thing to say now. Biologically speaking. The point of the movie, in my opinion, whether that was what they were pushing to do or not, is to say that there's purpose in both men. There's purpose for both men and women, and that it's important to find that purpose out for yourself. All women aren't the same. All men aren't the same. And I just found it to be a well done movie. It made me laugh. I had to watch the whole thing to find out what happened next. It had a thread that goes through the duration of the story that was deep, which is the part that got me. And I thought it was a good movie. there are times in there where they would say stuff that was kind of like leaning into feminism or patriarchy, that maybe they were saying it because they believed it to be 100% true, but I just thought it was funny. Like, I wasn't taking it as seriously.
That's kind of what I figured the movie was doing. Is it looked like it was intended to be kind of satire.
Yeah. I don't think that they were trying to make the case that women should rule everything and that men should sit down and shut up, which I think is what, if you were looking at it at a very shallow drive-by, you would maybe get wind of that and not ever give it a chance. That's not what it is.
Yeah, there was kind of a conservative backlash against that movie when it came out. But a lot of times those backlash things, they're almost like knee-jerk, and they're not really... It's like big name commentators want to comment on whatever the biggest thing is because you get attention for it. And so there's an industry around that stuff. But I'm wondering if after this, conservative backlash, which I don't even know how really real it was, if in 5 years the tide turns and then people are like, "Oh, Barbie, that was too conservative," because of the gender role thing. It'll just be interesting to see how that movie fares.
I think when art is really good, that it can be something personal to everybody who consumes it. You have to have, certainly there's a message from the artist, but it has to be a little bit open to interpretation. And I mean, I've made an active decision to not let everybody else's cause ruin my day anymore. We'll talk about the NFL when we come back.
Ooh, okay.
It's kind of a current consideration of mine. I'm in and out of it. I don't know. But I don't know. I saw Barbie. I liked it. I told my husband I don't think that he would enjoy it. Like, okay. He would watch it with me because he loves me, not because he'd love the movie. Somebody on here says, Veritas says, men watching the Barbie movie is gay. Only if you're that insecure in your sexuality.
I really want to watch it
Veritas.
because I want to just watch Barbie Land and the sets. I want to see what the sets look like in Barbie Land.
They're amazing.
Because that, to me, is impressive.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about these social, cultural expectations, especially ones that conservatives have laid out. I know you guys have talked a little about Taylor Swift lately. I haven't had a chance to weigh in. So let's do that in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-1005. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-1005. 800-210-1005. 800-210-1005.
AirComfortService.com is the website. I talk about residential repairs, replacements for your HVAC, for your heating, your cooling, your insulation. Air Comfort Service is there to help you with all of that. And they've been to my house. I have had my furnace replaced with air conditioning. No, my furnace replaced with Air Comfort. I've had my air conditioning replaced with Air Comfort. I trust them. I trust them in my home. I trust them around my family. I trust them to treat us right, to do the job right every single time. That's why I want to encourage you, if you are somebody who owns and operates a business, or if you're the office manager who makes these types of phone calls and these decisions or gets the quotes, you got to call Air Comfort Service if you have an HVAC concern. 314-513-0091. Write that number down. I'll say it again here in a second. You will get a free second opinion on any heat exchanger or compressor repairs. They're there to help make sure that you are taken care of. 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A financial aid delay with big ripple effects. Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a delay in getting student aid data to universities, which is dramatically impacting the college acceptance process and drawing criticism from lawmakers.
The Department of Education only started accepting free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, applications in January. This means universities won't get the data until March at the earliest, as opposed to October, throwing the college application process into chaos for many. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy and some of his Republican colleagues said the department had 3 years to roll out a new simplified application aid process, but botched it.
Many students may forego college because they don't know that they can afford it. That is the issue.
The Government Accountability Office has begun an investigation, and Cassidy says they've rolled out a FAFSA complaint website as well.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The White House says it did inform Israel before sanctions just announced against several Israeli settlers over attacks on Palestinians in the West Bank. The Israeli Prime Minister says there was no need for exceptional measures. Defense Chief Lloyd Austin says the U.S. will keep working to avoid wider conflict in the Middle East, but that a multi-tiered response is coming to the Iran proxy drone attack that killed 3 American soldiers. He also addressed his recent hospital stay and cancer diagnosis.
A prostate cancer diagnosis felt like a gut punch, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says.
And frankly, my first instinct was to keep it private.
That was a mistake, the Defense Secretary told reporters.
The American people have a right to know if their leaders are facing health challenges that might affect their ability to perform their duties, even temporarily.
Austin says he never directed anyone to keep his diagnosis or hospital stay a secret from the White House, but acknowledged he should have notified President Biden.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
A little bit on the breezy side going through our afternoon, but those winds are from the south. So how about 65 for the high today? Not even close to the record of 84. Partly sunny skies. Tonight, a lot of clouds, a couple of spotty sprinkles, 40 degrees. Friday, changeable skies with a mix of clouds and sunshine, 58 for the high on Friday. Friday is Groundhog Day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-674-2189 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-674-2189. That's 800-674-2189. What do you have to lose? Call 800-674-2189. Again, 800-674-2189.
If you're looking to buy or sell home on the Illinois side of the river and you haven't hired a realtor yet, may I suggest Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance. Oh my gosh, it's like striking gold with Jen Teskey and her team. It's not just one person, it's an entire team at the Jen Teskey RE/MAX Alliance team. You call or text 618-541-1010 and you are going to get somebody who understands the market over there to a T. Whether you are selling or listing a small home or a gigantic mansion, she has the expertise that does all of those and everything in between. She knows how to coach you and your home to shine, to make sure that when you list the house, you represent it in all of its positivity, to amplify the things that are your strong suit when it's going to be time to list that house, and also to help you lift up the places that may need a little bit of work. She'll give you all the honest feedback and help you get to the point where you've sold that house for top dollar. But you got to call and reach out to Jen Teskey today. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. Online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
What's happening now is happening here, and we're talking about it. On St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for being here with us today. The YouTube live chat poll for today is: when should minors be able to participate in social media? Played some of those clips from Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, with the conversation with Mark Zuckerberg. Ryan, were you able to watch any of that as it was happening? I don't know if you guys discussed any of it yesterday on the show.
No, Brad said it was happening kind of as the show was starting, and then we didn't hit it right then, and so we didn't really hit it the rest of the day either.
Did you watch it, though? Did you?
Not much. A little bit last night, but not a lot.
What did you see, Brad?
I've seen what I've cut for audio is what I've taken in pretty much.
Does it seem like we have the same conversation, at least on Capitol Hill, every time?
Yes. In fact, the first clip I saw pop up, I thought it was an old clip. And so I was
we're doing this again.
I just kind of scrolled past it. And I'm like, oh, this is the new stuff. Okay, because it's exactly right. Every year we're having this conversation, and it doesn't seem to be doing a lot. At least out in the open. Now, maybe behind the scenes stuff's happening and nobody wants to publicly admit that.
What about you?
It seems like we all agree that there is a problem with social media and how it affects young girls, and just in general, there's a big problem. But it seems like there's two very different thoughts on how we should fix it. You've got the Democrats in Blumenthal with we need to put more regulation on this. We need to rein it in and garner control. Sounds like to me Zuckerberg wants the government to put that control on there, and I don't know if that's just he wants to avoid liability. But I think that what you're seeing from Hawley and Cruz and their ilk is what they're looking for is for the social media companies to take it upon themselves to regulate this stuff. And then you can do that, and there's all right, well, nothing happens because nobody can agree on it.
Well, I mean, as a conservative, I'm not someone who's sitting here more regulation, more regulation, more regulation. Is it good that we don't let underage kids drink alcohol?
Yes.
Why?
They are not capable of handling it yet.
Biologically.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, you can show biologically, scientifically, how a child's body would react to the consumption of alcohol versus somebody who's what is it, 25 or 26 is the age of maturity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mentally. Yeah. That's why you get lower insurance once you hit 25.
I think there are certainly other things that are regulated. Smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you? Well, actually, I think you can legally smoke before you're 18. You just can't buy it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
I think. I don't think it's illegal. Somebody smarter than us, tell us. Text me. Police officers. I almost said pastors.
Pastors?
Do you have priests out there? Do you have confessionals with children being I smoked a cigarette today?
Well, that wasn't legal.
We do regulate things based on scientific, provable impact on underdeveloped people. Sounds like the new way to call children in a
Underdeveloped
woke world.
people.
Underdeveloped. Man, that shouldn't just be children. I know some adults. And overdeveloped. I am somebody who I would advocate. I don't know if this is my answer in this poll yet. And I've said this before. I ask a YouTube live chat poll, when should minors be able to participate in social media? Our options today are anytime. There should be no regulation. That's the first answer. The second one is anytime parent approved. The third time is as a teenager, so 13 plus. And the last one is 18 plus. So basically not as a child when you are 18, which is when we've determined adulthood begins. I am leaning towards the 18 plus.
So am I.
I am going to put my fuddy-duddy hat on now and say that when we were growing up, we did need to communicate with one another. I did talk on the phone at length. Some of my greatest friends that I've ever had and still have, I would sit on the phone. I mean, we would talk for 3 hours on a corded phone where the base of the phone was in the kitchen and the blue spiral cord would wrap around and I would sit next to the vent in my parents' room because that's where it was. And yeah, my parents could pick up another line and listen in anytime they wanted to. They didn't that I know of. Maybe they did. I don't think parents in the 90s cared.
Ooh, let's hear what her Tamagotchi's been doing.
In that realm, there wasn't an overseeing in the way that there is right now, but I think the stakes were different. And there was bullying. Oh my gosh, I was bullied so bad in middle school, and I know that I treated girls disrespectfully. I'm guilty of what I was hurt by. The same mechanism. I've seen it happen with my kids, but the entrance of social media is so inflammatory and unnecessary. I see so much bad and so little good. I don't have a problem with texting. My kids, like I've said this story before, and I keep talking about this because I want to empower other parents out there to be comfortable in just saying, sorry, kids, no. I wish that we would have more people collectively willing to say that. We have 2 extra phones in our house. They text their friends a lot. They don't ever carry that phone around with them in public. They do not sit on those phones at home socially. But they can go, they have to ask first, they can go check their text messages. I also interchange the phones between the 2 of them. I remind them, they'll be like, can I go get my phone? I'm like, you don't have a phone. Can I go get the green phone? Yeah. There's a green phone and there's a red phone because those are the cases that were left on them after I upgraded from them. And my daughter will text from both phones. My son will text from both phones. So anything, I purposely make it so that they interchange them so that anything that they do could be intercepted by their sibling and certainly overseen by us as their parents. I don't want to cut off their social life and their ability to communicate with their friends. I want them to be able to have that camaraderie that I know that exists out there, but you're not doing it on Snapchat. It's just not happening. I've never given an inch on it, and I keep saying these are 100% decisions that are made with my husband and me being, and he's a middle school teacher, so he probably knows exponentially more about the dangers of this than I do, but I also am a psychotic reader when it comes to reading all the bad stories. The exposure for pornography for children is like in the single digits of age when kids first see pornography. They can't even begin to understand what they're seeing, and that's their exposure to it. Kids bully through social media posts. My daughter has been bullied through public-facing social media posts from somebody who wanted to, woke up every day to ruin my daughter's day. And it affected my daughter, and I watched it happen. And we were able to push back on it. And we had good people who were willing to stand up for what was right and rectify the situation. Me saying no social media is the easiest thing that I can think of to protect them while they're still young. And I know that their friends are on it in some capacity. And they know, I've told them, this is why you're not. And I do believe that they understand why we're doing it. I don't think they like it, but I do think they understand it. And I don't understand I don't understand parents who are so persuaded by the begging from your children. Every kid's different. Every parent's different. But when my kids are begging me for something, it's because, and they're smart, they've seen the crack. They know that there is just even the tiniest glimmer of light coming through that they think that they can expand a little bit. And the begging only happens when they see a crack. You can't have a crack. If you're like, no, that's funny that you even think that that's a possibility. No, absolutely not. Anyway, moving on. At least for my kids, and they believe me. There's a firmness, there's a sternness. And I think that the most important thing is this is easier said than done in some cases and in some ages. Your kids have to know that you just love them to death. And that if you are making this decision that is ruining their day or their life, that it's because you love them to death. And kiddo, I just know better than you do. And you have to trust me on it. You don't have to like me on it.
Here's the thing. That attitude has to start from birth.
It's true.
Because if you don't start there, you really can't rebuild the dam once you've let the water go.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that, I've kind of messed up. That doesn't mean you can't do anything. It just means that the easiest and best way to do that is from day one, say, here are the parameters. And those parameters are going to move every year they get older, but you have to have them and then shift them as necessary. But you got to be, like you said, you have to be united, between you and your husband.
Yeah, we are locked and ready to go.
If you're not, and if you're a single parent, you're united among yourself, so that's almost easier in a sense. But you have to be united. You have to present that front. And then you have to stick with it. And you can't take days off from it. You just can't. Because that's the moment where you go, you know what, we've done this thing with sugar. And it's very comparable to everything else, but it's been sugar. Like from the time the kids were little, we limited the amount that they've eaten. Now we have 2 9-year-olds and we have a 6-year-old. Well, the 6-year-old has gotten to benefit from the rules that we set for the 9-year-old, that he's gotten a lot more because we allow the boundaries to move a little bit on the 9-year-olds. Well, then it moves on him too. So we've maintained a front, but we've been a little bit more lax with him, and that kind of stuff happens. But I'm using that to illustrate a point that whatever the rules are, you still have to keep them. And they're going to be different for everybody, but you got to keep them, and you really can't relax on them even when you're moving them.
Josh says on YouTube, you can't just release 18-year-olds into the wide world, after being sheltered and treated as a complete child all their life. Gradually got to let go before they are on their own. True. But you also have to understand, that's I think that I know that I've definitely made a concession in allowing them access to phones for texting. The fact that even exists in our house is a concession on my part. But at the same time, social media, what goes on in social media, what kind of upkeep that takes in a person's life who has a social media account. I don't know at this point in time with my son. My son's 14. I think it's probably different between boys and girls a little bit. But with my son being 14, my daughter being 11, and they're probably, honestly, scientifically about the same maturity level. I don't know that putting them into that social media world when they're 15 and 16 is healthy for them. And it really, in my opinion, takes more parents who are willing to just say no in order for people to I understand social media is part of the real world. I understand that this is what a lot of people are on. There are so many things that are part of the real world that most of the kids are doing, or that enough of the kids are doing, that there is no way over my dead body would I be like, well, this is how it goes. I'm not the parent who's going to say, you need to learn how to drink at home when you're 16. Like, I want you to do that around me so that you learn how to consume. That's not happening. It's just not happening. It's not healthy for them. And if you watch, the news stories that come across that talk about suicide, sextortion, where these people find these young boys, they convince them that they're this young, beautiful woman. They send some photos. As soon as they got those photos, they're like, give me your money. If you don't give me your money, I'm going to tell everybody I'm going to ruin your life. And then these kids will say, don't do that. I'm going to kill myself. And they're like, you should kill yourself. And then they kill themselves over my dead body. Will I be putting my kid, if he's not mentally prepared for that, in that situation? It's hard to be a conservative, no regulation, minimal government, limited government type of a person and look at this and reconcile the two. But I also know about regulations that exist on our children because we understand their brains, what they're willing to, capable of processing. And I'm wondering, because this is new territory, if there is something that should be in place legally or if it should just be left to the parent, because I know a lot of parents who are just leaving their kids to be able to access all of these things and they have no idea what their kids are getting into.
And I really feel strongly about this, that there are people listening right now who feel like they as parents have failed, or, gosh, it's gotten too far. I can't really do anything now. Or you're a grandparent and you feel like your kids have just opened the gates wide and your grandkids are just wild, whatever. I don't want, when I say you got to start day one, that's the best way to do it. If you haven't done that, just like Annie was saying, putting parameters on things, even if you feel like they're not going to follow them and they're going to hate you or it's not going to work, they will love you because you're doing it. If they have had no discipline or lack of discipline, even if it's not no discipline, if they've just had a lack of discipline with any area and you decide, you know what, we need to change that, they're not going to respond well to that, but they will know that you love them and you're doing it because you love them. And they will respond to that in the long term, even if not in the short term. I just want to encourage you if you're listening and you're in that boat.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. And I know that, even with my 4 children, the youngest being 2.5, so we're not quite anywhere with her yet when it comes to social media. But I do know that every kid is different, and every kid's ability to access social media and handle it in an appropriate, respectful way is going to be a little bit different. But that's no different than alcohol. I know people who are 21 years old, 22 years old, 25 years old, 50 years old. They all handle alcohol a little bit differently. And we've still said that you don't even get to do it until this age, at least not legally.
I handle it very poorly, for instance.
Yeah.
Like a White Claw can make me feel like I'm flying for about 15 minutes.
That's supposed to be Red Bull.
Yes, and it is not. No. It's just any alcohol. For 15 minutes,
I
will tell you my life story
right now.
A little bit.
It's getting me high.
You have a certain sheen to you today.
What do you call that? A patina?
Yeah. How you feeling, Annie?
I'm fine.
Okay, good.
Happy to be here. Let's take a quick break. Anna's going to fill in for Trisha to do a little Annie, are you okay? And then we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL, the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift political Venn diagram, how much it's intersecting these days, and if there's anything to it. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Stuart's American Mortgage is the place you go to get your mortgage and the best deal for it. Even if you have heard if you're buying a home from somebody and they're like, you should go to this mortgage lender, make sure that you try Stewie too. Get a second opinion. Call him or text him at 314-324-4440, and he's going to walk you through how you can use the bagel loan to your advantage. Pay no closing costs. No closing costs. When you are putting together an offer and you know what your range is and you're hoping to get it for this, but you're willing to get it for that, those closing costs come in at the end, and it's kind of a little extra nip in the butt because it's like, gosh, I had everything laid out, but that is the money that you have to have up front. Not when you use the bagel loan with Stewie at Stuart's American Mortgage. They don't exist. He doesn't roll it into the loan. He saves you that money when you choose to work at Stuart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And he's there ready to take your phone call, your text. If you missed him, we just talked to him at 125 about the Fed, their decision to not raise rates or to lower rates and what that means. So if you missed it, you check it out at 125 on the podcast. But you can call him or text him at 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 58. Listen live from Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Takes the snap. Darts a pass near side. Caught by Kelsey. Wrapped to the ground at the 12.
And the San Francisco 49ers.
With a comeback for the ages, the 49ers are going back to the Super Bowl.
Wherever you are next Sunday, stream Super Bowl 58 with Westwood One on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search Super Bowl. AUDACY.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it. Except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is, same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts, and you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking, and they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him, tell him you heard Mark Cox talking about it, 877-25-RHINO, or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Right about now.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. The Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. About now. About now. About now.
First thing that comes to your mind when you hear this song.
Skank.
What?
Well, it's called the Rockefeller Skank. I wasn't calling anybody a name. That's just what I think of right there. And then I also think of the video for Praise You, which is not this song, but the same artist.
Brad? Nothing?
Man, nothing. It just draws a blank.
Anna?
I've never heard this song.
Oh, you're kidding me! Wow!
I'm so sorry to disappoint.
Haven't you guys watched She's All That? Oh my gosh.
No. I hate that stupid movie.
She's All That. That movie with Amanda Bynes? No.
She's not. Amanda Bynes is not in that movie.
Nope.
That's She's the
You
Man.
go sit in the corner
She's
with
the Man.
Anna.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's the Man is great.
Oh, you've seen She's the Man?
I love that movie.
Man, okay.
Usher?
It's a good song.
Usher's the DJ
I don't
at the
care
dance
about
in the fancy high school, because you know. And then they all break out into a synchronized dance.
And they
to
know
this one?
exactly what to do. No, I don't care about that or this movie. But I like the song.
Somebody on the live chat vindicate me and say you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hoover it. Gosh, come on, people. I'm having a moment. My favorite movie in
I
high
actually
school.
do know that scene from that movie.
See?
Because it's so...
Because everybody knows it.
It's ubiquitous for being dumb.
It doesn't matter. It cuts through.
yeah, it sure does.
Chris F says Annie's making things up again. Chris
No,
F.
no, that's not true. It really is a scene. It's just that I don't care, and everybody wants to forget that scene. The song is what's cool about it. So I'll give you that. The song is a cool song.
Usher dances in it.
I don't care about that even more than the other thing.
Ursher.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Veritas says straight men didn't watch that movie either. Veritas, you're wrong.
No,
You're really worried about straight men. That makes me concerned.
that is not the first comment he's made
No.
about that today.
How are you, Anna?
I'm doing great.
Filling in for Trisha.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that.
So, the first story I have, there is a passenger on a Frontier Airlines flight who dropped her pants and It's a great start. Dropped her pants and threatened to pee in the aisle back in November. And according to court documents, flight attendants wouldn't allow the 60-year-old to use the bathroom after they landed. So she dropped her pants and underwear and squatted like she was going to pee, but didn't.
How? How did she hold it?
I don't know.
If she had to pee, no, stop it for a second. I don't know how it works for men. I've had 4 babies, and if I gotta pee, I gotta pee. And if you're like in the position where you've got to pee really bad, gentlemen, Anna, you can weigh in too. Maybe you're
It's
not
a little
on the
bit
floor,
different
baby.
for the gentleman, but
But if you squat to pee, once your mind goes to like, I'm about to pee now. How do you not pee?
I think you just don't. I don't know the mechanics of the brain and how it determines through synapses how to tell your bladder when to move.
You're just saying words.
But I do believe that I'm impressed by the fact that this woman was able to squat in an airport aisle, in an airplane aisle.
If you
'Cause
had to
that
pee,
is very tight.
If one had to pee and you got all the way to the point where all you had to do is pee, and you had to pee really bad, and you committed yourself all the way to that point, would you be able to not pee?
I know what you're talking about. I mean, for a guy, it is different, but it's not a mental stop. It's actually a physical stop. You can physically stop yourself from doing it. So
yeah, you
Okay,
can.
well,
I
that's
don't
not the
know.
case.
I have had 0 kids, and
Me and
I
Brad
think if
haven't
I
either.
was in that position, I would pee.
You couldn't like have to pee really bad, sit on the
Yeah.
toilet, and be like, "I have to wait."
no, it's not like
That doesn't happen. That's crazy, man. If I just won't need to tell all of my personal stories. Anyway,
When was the last time you guys peed on a golf course?
Not once in my entire life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like in a bathroom,
No, just like off to the side.
No.
women can't do
Brad,
that.
you're supposed to support
Brad.
me.
No.
Guys do
What
this
do you
all
mean?
the
Wait,
time.
what do you mean support you?
You're a big boy. You got this yourself.
Brad's like the last time I held it for you.
Oh, no. No.
Is that a Blues game?
6 years in April.
No, you at the golf course, man. That's the best because you can just go wherever you want, anytime you want.
can't. No,
But
you
women
can't.
can't.
No, you can't.
But women
no,
can't.
you can't.
Yes, men can.
You may
Yes.
do it, but you can't. You're not supposed to.
No, that's not
They've
true.
got porta potties every so often.
I'm
I think
pretty
it's
sure-
written in the USGA's bylaws.
I think it's not. I think you've never read the USJ
Is that-
bylaws, and I
is that
bet
what
money
they're-
on it.
Is that what they're talking about when you're seeking relief?
That's exactly what that
It's
means.
like, oh,
Brad.
you can seek relief from this situation.
Yep.
Go pee on a tree.
Yep. This is a drop area.
I think the
That's what
fact
that
that
means.
people do it, the more you come out here and publicly say that it's absolutely okay, the more people are going to police against it.
Ooh, I don't know. I hope that they
Call it the
take
Ryan
the
Wiggins
opposite
law.
truth. Yeah,
I mean, that would be iconic, but okay.
that would be true. The Ryan Wiggins law is that you can pee anywhere you want.
So now that we can really perfectly envision this lady with her pants down. in
Usher is
the
on TMZ right
flight
now.
aisle.
When was the last time you saw Usher?
Oh my gosh.
They're listening to
I'm
our
sorry,
show.
AB, but that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
What were we talking about that I said, why are we even... we were talking about theme parks.
Yes.
And like the expansion of this theme park in Oklahoma. And we look up, Fox News within 5 minutes is talking about it.
Without, yeah.
And they weren't talking about it before.
The only obvious.
Is that Brett Bear is tuning in.
Obviously.
Mr. Bear.
Mr. Bear.
Yeah. Sorry, Anna.
Oh, it is. Okay. This lady also threatened to kill a fellow passenger, so we'll throw that in the mix as well.
Man, I would prioritize that over peeing in the aisle as a
Yeah, if I
problem.
were going to prosecute it.
Annie, are you okay with being forced to stay in your seat after landing?
See, I'm a person who stands up at my seat. I don't need to get in the aisle per se, but if I might need to stretch my legs or to, most of the time when I'm flying, I got my kids. There's so much stuff to organize.
Yeah.
And I try to sit towards the front, so I don't want to be holding up everybody who's behind me. So I'm a stander. But I know that some people don't like it. I'm never, ever going in front of anybody who's in front of me in the
Mhm.
seats.
I'm not a stander. I sit until I can exit the aisle.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Have you ever seen somebody try to get in front of other people getting off the plane?
It's very uncomfortable.
It is very uncomfortable.
I've seen
Because
videos of people in the back sprinting to the front.
I have seen that. I've seen it on a plane, not
Sprint to
necessarily
the-
sprinting,
Oh,
but
you
I've
were there.
seen a couple get out of their aisle and just start walking up like through people to get in front of them. To
I mean,
get
if
off
you
the
think
plane.
about it, it is pretty smart.
No, it's not. It's socially unacceptable, and I shamed them with my
Yeah,
eyes.
but if you run fast enough, you don't have to
Yeah,
feel
you
the
don't see
gaze
your eyes.
of
Yeah.
the
Somebody's looking at you, and it's me.
So our next one has sparked a viral debate. A woman returned a couch to Costco 2.5 years after buying it.
Yeah.
The return policy said that there's a return window of 90 days, and some of those items include cell phones, TVs, computers, all that stuff, but it doesn't say couches. So she was able to get a full refund on this couch.
What's her name? Because that's going to be the new law at Costco based on
Ryan Wiggins rule.
No, it's ridiculous.
I think that's awesome.
I don't like. I'm sorry. I was just going to say. I think we should shame the people who would try to push that.
That's me.
Because it's I know. That's why I'm super
Shaming.
excited about the new process here. You would not be able to do that in good conscience.
No, not in good conscience.
Good.
That's the key phrase.
You should have guilt. and
Yeah,
shame.
you'd have some guilt about it.
How much was that couch?
I don't know. I would assume it's a normal couple $1,000 couch or something.
I don't know what a Costco couch goes
Yeah,
for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can't. Gosh, whatever happened to decency? Like,
I wonder
Yeah.
if the people who will buy it now will know.
nobody's gonna buy it now.
Well, if you don't know, if they just sell it, like, oh, here's the couch.
I don't know how you could use a couch for 2 years and it not have some sort of wear and tear or stains or whatever.
Yeah. I was watching last night. They did this story on Fox News. I think Jimmy Fallon, who's on this evening on every weeknight here on 97.1, was talking about it with Jesse Waters. And he said that the TikTok video shows her saying, this is what I'm going to do. It shows the couch in the trailer. And then it shows her back at her house saying, so I returned the couch and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't believe her. Is it possible it's all just a scam?
It's incredible.
On us, not on Costco?
I don't know. It could be.
Ooh,
I'm super skeptical
scandal.
of
I didn't
everything.
think about it.
Yeah, like he says, there's no receipt that shows that the person got their money back. There's no video of them doing the exchange and executing it in Costco. So if it's all like, think about this for a second. If it's all bologna sausage, and this person's gone viral on TikTok, they've made money on this video, so they've probably gotten their money for their couch back. Should there be a consequence to that?
Yeah, whatever happened to decency?
No, I
Whatever
think it's
happened
smart.
to
I think it's smart.
predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, even TV.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Continue. No, I'm going to smell that.
Smells like red.
Get it out.
I don't know. No, I don't think there should be any rule against somebody being deceitful on TikTok. But come on, people. You can't get fooled by that.
What if you leave it up, but then it gets labeled
It's misinformation.
deceiver? Influencer and deceiver.
I mean, our stuff gets labeled on social
like a blue
media
check
all
mark.
the time.
The version of a blue check mark.
Yeah.
It's a red check.
Yeah.
A red X.
Red X.
I mean, like, you can make your content because you'll see that stuff all the time. These people who there's a long drawn out videoed scene of somebody sitting in an airport with their hair over the chair. Look at the airplane. It's not a real airplane. It's a set.
What? Man, that's a lot of work.
What did you buy?
What are you talking about?
Big Lots.
Oh, on Black Friday?
You're the biggest sucker there is.
Yeah. Yes, go on.
These people are making this content for you.
I don't believe all that.
You believe all of it.
I do not. I just saw one the other day that was a picture, like the famous Bradley Cooper, Kevin Spacey, Ellen DeGeneres Oscars photo that they took of themselves. Somebody had a Simpsons version, and it said, this was in 1999. Reality is fake. Like, there's no way somebody predicted that exact photo on The Simpsons in 1999. I called him out, Annie, and I want credit for it.
You're a sucker. You are. They make this content to make most people go, oh my gosh. And then everyone's talking about Costco couch. I think it's hilarious that we're talking about it today because I saw it on Jesse Waters last night, and then it was on Gutfeld last night, and it's on the Annie Frey show today. And yes, that's because I was watching those shows that I could talk about it. But
I feel like with stuff like this, yes, in the back of my head, I know half of it is fake, but I like to believe it's true because I think it's funny.
You're just willing.
Yeah. I'm the target audience.
So is Ryan.
Yeah.
But you're not I mean, you got one eye open when you sleep? Ryan doesn't.
Oh, no. If I had three eyes, they'd be shut.
Anyway, you got one more before we break?
I got one more. A woman discovered she's running for president via Google alert.
Ooh.
This Colorado woman is listed on the Minnesota presidential primary ballot.
Congratulations.
She is fighting to have her name removed because she didn't agree to run.
Her name is like Jenny Smith. That must be me.
But the Minnesota Secretary of State's office says they're still putting her on the ballot.
Wait, really? I mean, you have to collect signatures. Who's doing this? Was it a prank?
This is the ultimate troll.
Somebody did this to her? This is amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to have a president of the United States someday that did not know they were elected because the trolling is getting out of...
We currently have a president of the United States who doesn't know that they are elected.
That's a pretty good
Yeah, he just said that President Trump was a sitting president.
He did?
Yes!
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't believe it, first of all, though. I don't believe everything I see. I'm going to have to make sure that's not a deep fake. Did you check?
What?
I feel like you are a deep fake. I don't know what to do with you. No, that's not true. I do know what to do with you.
You okay, Annie?
Yeah.
Stop.
Are you good with that, Annie?
As long as you don't
good
take
with Jenny
Trump's name
Smith?
off the ballot, you put anyone else's name on there. Honestly, the more people you have on there, the better for Trump.
I bet this lady gets a decent amount of votes.
I think she will too.
That's such a funny
The
story.
more she talks about it, not wanting to be
That's
on
like
there,
a
the more votes she's going to
two
get.
truths
Yeah.
and a lie. Like I ran for president.
You know what's crazy is it's Minnesota. Random lady could swing the vote to Trump in Minnesota if
Yeah.
it became a big
Yeah.
enough trend.
Let's go watch She's All That. We'll be
Yeah,
right back.
here we go.
Right about now. Funk Soul
This
Brother.
is the
Check it
Annie
out
Frey
now.
Show.
Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
The Retirement Advisory Group is waiting for your phone call, 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And when you talk to Thomas Helvig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, the amazing staff at the Retirement Advisory Group, they're all on your side, and they're all excited to get you from where you are right now, which is on the cusp of retirement, into retirement worry-free. That sounds lovely, doesn't it? You've got dreams, you've got hopes for what retirement is going to look like for you. They can help you get there because there are specific things that you need to do, actions that you need to take in order to secure yourself so you don't have to fret every huge up and down swing of the markets to make sure that you are safe and secure. And they've never had a client lose a penny of their nest egg. Why not be one of those people? Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review by calling 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. You can find them online right now at retirementkey.com.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Drury Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Human trafficking is happening right here in Missouri. You can help combat it by learning the signs of human trafficking and reporting suspicious activity to law enforcement. Victims may appear malnourished, show signs of physical or mental abuse, or avoid social interaction. If you're a victim or know someone who needs help, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text the word HELP to Be Free. Together, we can stop human trafficking in Missouri.
Brought to you by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Well, I told you before that we're going to give away Jordan Peterson tickets in the 2 o'clock hour. There's not a whole lot of the 2 o'clock hour left, so I'm giving you a pretty big hint that it's probably going to be real soon. So stick around for that. Jordan Peterson coming to St. Louis at the Stiefel Theater on February 14th. 2:46. This time check is sponsored. Wait a minute. I'm getting a green light.
Green light.
Leah, here we go. We're giving away Jordan Peterson tickets right now. 314-241-9797. 314-241-97. There's pandemonium out there in the bullpen. They're going crazy.
Leah's just running in circles by herself.
Here we go. Okay. 2:47. I got to do the time check too, so I'm going to do that right now. This time check brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
Phone number one more time.
314-241-9797. Be the 13th caller. Here we go.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. There's a little hot water for Missouri Congressman Jason Smith, the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, over a tax deal he just cut. He'll join us to explain coming up at 3:25.
Caught my heart about 1-2 times. Don't need to question the reason I'm yours. I'm yours.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
No flaws. I'm not trying to be your part-time lover. Sign me up for them full-time. I'm yours, all yours. So what a man gotta do? What a man gotta do to be totally locked up by you? What a man gotta say? What a man gotta pray to be your last good night and your first good day? So what a man gotta do?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I said I was going to talk about the NFL.
Yes, you did.
I watched Monday. We did the YouTube live chat poll question: who you rooting for? Chiefs, 49ers, Taylor Swift, or not watching? You told that was the day I had to bail. You said the Chiefs were like 50%.
A little over 50.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was not watching.
Then it was not watching. Yep, that was at 20-something%.
And then Taylor Swift, then 49ers.
Yeah, I don't remember which one was which.
But they were both low.
Those two were the lowest.
Let me say something about the current situation that includes Taylor Swift, because it's very politically charged right now. And I have theories on this that I don't know to be true. I think that when people are out there trying to push the issue as to whether or not conservatives are supposed to like Taylor Swift or not, I don't honestly know what about Taylor Swift you shouldn't respect if you are a constitutionally based conservative in this country. Granted, she's had some political opinions that are certainly different than mine. She attacked Marsha Blackburn. I remember her doing that. I think it was over abortion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Tennessee. She said some crap about Trump, whatever. So she is a celebrity who isn't out there aggressively saying conservative-minded things. But let's just for a second analyze what's going on in Taylor Swift world. Taylor Swift writes all of her own songs. She is a creator unlike any other creator, I think, that is mainstream right now. She's probably the most popular woman on the planet. Is there somebody more popular?
A woman? No.
A man.
Maybe Trump. Popular,
not popular,
but well known, I would say.
Ryan Reynolds.
Then Taylor Swift?
For sure.
In the world?
No possible way.
In the world.
I don't know.
No way.
I definitely, I'd put my money on Taylor Swift between those two.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not saying he's not massively popular.
Taylor Swift couldn't find a corner of this planet where she could just casually stroll in looking like Taylor Swift and not be seen by somebody. Ryan Reynolds would 100% get away with doing that.
Not a chance.
I do know you have a bro thing for Ryan Reynolds.
He's a dude. But
he's your Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that
Bought a
another
soccer
time.
team.
Well, I mean, like, you could say the same thing about Elon Musk, but that doesn't mean he's popular. Being known is different than being popular. There's nobody more popular than Taylor Swift. In my opinion, Brad differs and says Ryan Reynolds. This is like an out of left field, didn't see that coming. Taylor Swift writes songs about being in love and being hurt by love, right? Isn't that kind of the consistent basis?
Yeah.
And then she also has a few songs in there that are kind of about being empowered as a woman, which there's nothing wrong with that. And if any man hears a song about a woman feeling empowered for X, Y, or Z and feels attacked by that, then you're a beta. I'm just going to say that like that.
Oh, ouch.
Sorry.
That's Brad.
I didn't mean... ouch
You
for Brad.
said ouch and then said that's
ouch.
Brad.
Well, I feel bad for my bro.
I mean, you can't, like, you can't listen to a woman talk about feeling strong about what makes her a woman. I mean, when you honestly listen to the things that Taylor talks about in her songs about using femininity to rule the world, I think we should stop and reflect on that for a minute. If you listen to the songs that she sings about the way that she, in some cases, can like turn a man inside out through her femininity and like love him and leave him and stuff like that, the fact that she's a woman is what gives her the power to do all of those things. The femininity is the thing that makes her powerful like that, and she gets it. She's turned it into an empire. I respect the heck out of that. Isn't it amazing that the person who she has found to love is about the most peak testosterone-y masculine person that you could possibly find? That's what she wants. Doesn't that mean something today? Like in patriarchal society where we're supposed to squash down masculinity, we're supposed to put testosterone in the corner because they've had their moment, that the idea that you would have this really big brute dude who hits people for a living and gets hit for a living and, grunts and does silly dances if he scores a touchdown or goes 12 for 12 in a championship football game. I mean, like he got whatever the award was after they won the conference championship last week. And he gets the microphone. And I'm sorry, like I'm not insulting men by saying this, so don't hear it that way. But he did like the most dude thing. He's like, you gotta fight for your right to party. And then that was it. And I'm like, no woman gets up on a stage after winning like peak accomplishment and is almost peak next week. And is like that. That's a dude. That's like testosterone to the core man stuff. It's like battle cry stuff. And Taylor Swift is wrapped up in it. And I think that this is not the point that they are making. I'm just saying this is the point that biology is making in front of everybody on a world stage, and I'm kind of here for it. I don't care about Taylor Swift. I don't care about Travis Kelce.
I think Annie has a crush on Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is incredibly attractive, and I think Jason Kelce is more attractive. So there you go.
Jason Kelce.
Yeah, but they weren't in Deadpool.
Exactly.
No.
Right, Brad?
Exactly.
Right.
I don't even know what the plot of Deadpool is. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds instead. Catch me up on whatever this thing is.
Catch me outside.
When you identify, Brad said this multiple times on the show, like maybe Taylor Swift just wants to cheer her boyfriend on playing football. Maybe the girlfriend just wants to cheer the boyfriend on and what they're best at, and it just so happens to be that they are in their arena, literally at the top. You can't do a bigger stadium tour than Taylor Swift. Never been done before. You can't play in bigger games than Travis Kelce. And there is something about her femininity, which is where she makes her money, and his masculinity, which is where he makes his money, that have come together and brought everybody to go, this just kind of feels really good to watch. It's like the homecoming queen and the quarterback of the football team coming together. This is a tale as old as freaking time. And everybody loves it because it's natural and it's biological. And I freaking hate the NFL for screwing St. Louis over. That's why I hate the NFL. I hate that they screwed St. Louis over. And like a woman scorn, I'm really mad about it because I still care. Because when I watched a little bit of the Chiefs game and I watched football happen, I still really love to watch football.
I think it's a good point, and I think you've got just enough voice to get us through the results of the YouTube live chat poll.
When should minors be able to participate in social media? Anytime, 0% said anytime. As a teenager, 14%, so that would be 13 and up. 32% said 18 plus, which I'm actually kind of excited to hear. That a third of you all said that. 54% said anytime parent approved.
Yeah, I think that's probably about where I would have. I want to say anytime parent approved, but it really concerns me how much absentee parenting I'm seeing with that.
And how that absentee parenting affects your child.
Yeah, it does.
I wonder what Ryan Reynolds thinks about it.
We should email him.
Producer?
He's too big. He won't answer us.
This is your moment, Brad. Ryan Reynolds!
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
RulerFoods.com is where you can go. You can find the Ruler Foods closest to you. Don't put it off any longer. Ryan, can I ask you a question about Ruler Foods real quick?
I know everything, so.
Ruler Foods, when you shopped at Ruler Foods for the first time, were you surprised at how easy it was to shop? Organized, clean?
Yes, and I was also surprised by how, I don't know, easy, I guess is the overall word I'm looking for. How easy it was to just go in there and grab stuff and go.
It's a different experience than going to the regular grocery stores that you might go to. You're going to get a quarter and put it in the cart. If you want to get a cart, you're going to put your stuff in, maybe pull a box off the shelf or bring your own bags. But it's actually a very simple process, and it's so well organized. Your name brands are there, so you can shop at Ruler Foods and get those name brands. And they have Kroger brands at Ruler Food prices as well. You will save on every grocery cart that you fill at Ruler Foods, and I invite you to find the one closest to you right now at rulerfoods.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
There is a bill. Lisa Brady, Fox News. After months of talks on border security, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says a supplemental bill will be posted no later than Sunday, with the first procedural vote expected no later than Wednesday.
Some progressive Democrats have already written the bill off as going too far, with some Republicans saying it doesn't go far enough. Texas Republican Congressman